problems. No problems getting it started this time.
What? We don't have Brian talking over himself like he's in an echo chamber today? That's really unfortunate.
Here we
You better
go.
close that meeting chat because there's that me that so people are going to be dropping in here.
Yoink.
Is that a me thing or a you thing?
That was a me thing. That was to get spinning. Dropping the link into Slack so everybody can join.
Slack attack. All right. Lay them down and slack them, jack them. I got to figure out how to freaking do the chat. God, I feel like an old man. I never remember how to chat here. So I'm just going to keep talking. Lead us in, Frank. You're always Mr. Personality, Mr. Charisma over there. Do your thing, man. Do your little jazz hand song and dance bullshit that you do. I love it.
All right, so we are just getting.
Already.
That's right. Nope, and that's without the alcohol.
Oh yeah.
So here we go. We got a bunch of new faces in here already.
New faces. Love it.
Danijaka. Sorry if I pronounced.
Daniel.
All right, Daniel. Welcome.
Oh, it's Daniel. All right.
We got Elfstrom. That's a new.
Yeah, that sounds like an Aussie to me.
Amir, Donnie Baseball, Kim Muggle, Sabbath, Thor.
Where have you been, Donnie Baseball? Where you been hiding out?
Donnie says hi, spinning Frank. I guess Mike's on Donnie's shit list. We got Dingo, 10 Point, Padre, Wrathbeard, wow. We got Smithy, Bazals, Taffy, Rancho, and El Bailey. By the way, El Bailey bought Padre Bry's sauce and was given 2,500 credits. So,
nice. Way to go. I love it.
Yeah, so if
y'all
y'all...
It looks so good.
Oh, it was awesome. It's
pretty good. Like I said, well, actually, I'll mention Padre sauce in a second. I'll mention the hottest of the hot. My favorite is the Green Ghost, personally. I don't know what you got, El Bailey, but that was my favorite. All of them are good. Like I said, the Vampire Slayer was garlic based. And on to Demon Semen. I actually saw a meme, and I know Frank's always worried about our like takedown notices and things. I saw a meme that was caused because of pretty much copyright infringement. So everybody knows Halloween costumes and Spirit Halloween, and they had these crazy Halloween costume names. And one of them was called Evil Midweek Cutie, which was, of course, Tuesday Adams, or Wednesday Adams, Tuesday Adams.
Well, I think it was the knockoff. The one that you said was Tuesday Adams.
Yeah. And then finally the fun one, and this is why I bring up Demon Semen again. One of them was Beetlejuice, and they called him the Juice Demon. So I thought that was great. So I sent that to Frank. We had a laugh about that. So the Juice Demon. I actually tried to breed a horse called the Juice Demon for this stream. You would be hard pressed to find a couple of horses with the name Juice and Demon on them that are even remotely good. Demon's be almost the best of the damn sires, and that was it. And he's not much of a thrower; he's more a shower.
There we go. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to get names in so that I don't screw this up. I definitely missed one last week and had to go back.
Like Larry said he got Vampire Slayer, Demon Semen, and Tropical Zest.
Tropical Zest. It sounds more like a soap, but I'd go for it. Sounds good.
Super.
I'd be curious. Is that like a pineapple base or something?
Yeah, I'm worried. I'm wondering that too. I know it wasn't the strawberry one though.
Yeah, I really wanted that strawberry one, but like Padre was saying, I think it's probably a limited number of things you can really enjoy that on. So, but it's probably great. It does sound good. So anyway, speaking of all that, I am actually still actively trying to find the chat on this because I'm stupid. Help me, Frank. Where's the chat on Twitch?
Just pop open here. I'm going to send it to the private Zoom.
All right. Do that. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you actually saw it at the beginning, guys, but when Frank first opened the stream, we actually had the invite link like popped in the side. So we were afraid like 73 of you guys were going to come in here and start giving us the business, which is what we're going to do. We're talking about potentially doing something theoretically similar to that for Breeders' Cup, Breeders' Bowl. We talking about something like that, Frank?
Yeah, so Breeders' Bowl is 2 weeks from now, right? It's November 4th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Saturday. So what we're talking about doing is we do not an all-day stream, but a good portion of the day stream. Probably be a good 3 to 4 hours, I'd imagine. And what we're thinking about doing is just blocking certain bits and pieces of time off and getting folks in with us. So if you're interested in doing something like that, PM me and we can, figure out the logistics of it. But we're gonna Mike and I will definitely be live for at least 4 hours.
A while.
Yeah. And we'll be betting. We'll be watching races here in the game. We'll be having a good old time.
Yeah, probably not as much drinking midday as we do at night. I have to limit that. It's bad enough. I can get myself in trouble at night, but if I start drinking, probably the worst hangover I ever had, second tied, I think I said this on the stream, is for Derby one year. We got on a Derby bus and I started drinking at like 9 something in the morning. I actually got a hangover while I was still awake, which is highly not recommended. I straight up was not having a good time. Miserable.
Yeah.
Not only that, we were drinking like Bud Heavy too. I mean, it was just like these big old nasty 16-ounce like carbonated ass American beers that were like I may as well have been drinking. I won't even say that. I'm not drunk enough to start cussing too much yet.
So here we
And
are.
were you at Churchill or just at a Derby party?
No, that was at Churchill.
So you're probably paying $20 for those butts too.
Well, here's what happened. We actually didn't drink as much at Churchill as you would think because we started drinking before we got there. So we probably drank them beforehand. We actually rode a bus over, and of course, it takes a while to park the bus. So we got hammered on the bus because we knew that we were going to have to go into Churchill and pay a big price. So and it was like 98 degrees or in them hot ass Derby days, probably not 98, but pretty hot. So I was just sitting out there baking in the sun already, like 3 sheets in the wind all day. It was miserable. We were in those hot ass bleachers. It was a mess.
Yeah, so MTK asked a good question. He said, I was going to use my Amazon Twitch Prime for this channel, but it's not showing as an option for you yet. It's because you need to hit a certain volume of content first. Yeah, that's actually, so we have to do this stream, and we have to do one more stream before the 28th of this month, and then we can apply for affiliate status. And then when we apply for affiliate status, we can hook bank accounts and everything else up and get Twitch Prime set up so that the channel can get monetized. But we're working our way towards it. Yeah, no, absolutely appreciate it. We're working our way towards it. The affiliation thing actually opens up a few more options for us too, in terms of like saving videos, clips, getting emojis or custom made emojis, which we'll probably tag Padre Bry for. And yeah, so there's a lot of fun things in there that affiliate opens up for us. I don't know exactly all of it. But
figure it out.
Yeah, we'll baby steps.
Yeah, a couple more things related to that is I won't say been threatening, but at least Frank and I have been talking privately about potentially like, I don't know if, first off, I know we're not celebrities, so you don't want to hear us opine on everything. It's not like we're going to suddenly have like a fashion channel out here. But if there's anything even remotely sports related, particularly like if you want us to try to do a regular stream sporadically where we're doing a little handicapping, maybe get the people in the room and we can talk horse racing and like do some live horse race handicapping. Frank and I are big UFC fans, so I'm not sure that you want to hear us talk dumb stuff about UFC, but anything remotely adjacent to the game that we might be interested in. And then the last thing is we're talking about potentially doing a late night Saturday stream United States time soon, maybe about 7:38, so we can pick up, because the Australian people will be able to pick that up, right? Maybe even 9.
Yeah, I think Australian folks should be able to pick it up. I don't know about the European side though, but we were trying to we're trying to find a time that's more or less all inclusive, right? And it's
really none of those, because I think Australia, I looked at it today, I think versus my time, they can be between 13 and 17 hours ahead of us. So it's really hard to find that sweet spot where we can pick them up and the Euro people and the United States. Yeah. But it's tricky to get all three of them. I mean, there's probably some sweet spot where you and I would have to get up, like, of course, if we get up, then the United States people are still asleep. So it's just hard to hit everybody. So we'll try to at least get a couple at night, specifically on the weekend, to pick up our Aussie people. And et cetera, et cetera.
Let's see. Jono says it's 2:30 by him. He says, leave this time. I love getting up. All right. Hey, man.
All right. Jono, we love having you, buddy.
All right, guys. You heard it here first. You heard Jono. Jono made the request.
When no late Saturday streams, and when you come at us, we're pointing at Jono, and he loves getting up, man. Take it up with him.
Amir says it's 6 a.m. Dingo says 1:30 a.m. in Aussie. East State's 2:30. Yeah, it's 11:30.
That's like 10:30 here. So yeah. So yeah, 11:30 a.m. where Frank's at, 10:30 a.m. where I'm at. So, and Spin's over here being quiet, man. Talk to us, Spin. We've just been talking.
I'm so excited to have some of my European friends for this stream. We got
Daniel,
we got Amir, we got Sabbath, we got Woet, who's Pascal. I know I'm missing somebody, but it's exciting seeing some faces that I know. Amir comes in from time to time, and
Yeah, he's hardcore.
he is. It's all hours of the day and night for him. But
Yeah.
some of the other folks, it's good to see. And there's some people whose names I don't recognize, but they're new for this stream. So that's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
So for the new folks who are in the stream, I am going to ask if you can do me one solid and just give me a type at Derby Fever in the chat and put your in-game username. This will help me identify folks when it comes time to hand out prizes. If you don't know, what I typically do, or what we typically do, is we give away credits to everybody who participates in the Twitch chat. So that's one of the key things. You can come to the stream and you can watch the stream, but if you don't comment, you don't get the credits. I want to make that clear. Got to comment, got to participate, got to be a part of the stream in order for this to kind of reap the benefits, so to speak.
We ought to have like a dueling championship and give some extra credits to a dueling champion one day.
That's right. Y'all can duel. I mean, if you type, since we're talking about that, you can do exclamation point commands. That will tell you any command that you want to type into the chat. I put a new one in. If you guys somebody wants to do exclamation.
Yeah, I think you guys will be pleasantly or unpleasantly surprised when you stumble across it.
Oh yeah. Let's see. So BK's an asshole. Got it. We got Wrathbeard, who is definitely new. There we go.
I like that name. That's a great name. Wrathbeard.
One of Sabbath's heavy metal bands.
Yeah.
Icewind,
Sabbath.
Sea Cadet.
Sabbath plays that heavy shit too. It's not even like speed metal. It's like it's like the whole world's gonna like implode on itself. It's like scary as shit.
Got the
now, is that because of the European elements? Is American metal more lighthearted?
No.
I'm not the big doom metal guy. I like more like that speed metal, like old Megadeth, old Metallica stuff. That's Now that being said, I'm also a fan. I guess there's a band called Stoned Jesus, and they play a little bit of that like real heavy stuff. But they're more like a Black Sabbath in a way, even than some of the really like drop E tuning and some of these, not drop E, I guess drop A tuning that some of these guys are playing, like that scares the bejesus out of the small children and animals. But yeah, Megadeth's more up my alley. So old Megadeth, not that new shit.
Just
anything with Marty Friedman, or even like Killing's My Business and Business is Good, and Peace Sells, those are great. But yeah, outside of that, the new shit sucks. Do not listen. For the love of all children, great and small. I'm a huge Megadeth fan. I'm a huge Judas Priest fan. Judas Priest does a song called Delivering the Goods. If you want to hear a good cover of Delivering the Goods, go look it up on MTV. Skid Row surprisingly plays with Rob Halford. Excellent. Megadeth redid a cover of Delivering the Goods. It's atrocious. I didn't know Megadeth could sound that bad. Dave Mustaine needs to hang it up. And he lives like near me. He lives somewhere around Nashville.
Well, don't say that too
Looks
loud.
Looks like Wrathbeard says it's from World of Warcraft, not heavy metal. So
it still sounds pretty badass. I'll give him that.
Dennis,
doesn't matter where it came from. It's badass.
Or not Dennis. I'm sorry, Dingo. Since we're talking about this, I can't play it on the stream, but he sent me a link to. It's called Hillbilly Metal, and he said, "This is your old college metal band, Mike." So
hey now,
when you get a chance,
hey now, I feel attacked.
It's called As the Structure Fails the Surface. That's the name of the band. So if y'all want to check it out, it is very screamo. They do yell a lot in it, and it's so
can you drop the link in the chat? Is that okay?
Well, I'll drop the link in the chat.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a problem.
With that. Yeah, maybe not. Hey, anyways, we're sending free advertising over to them, or we're letting them advertise for free here, so they'll get clicks and views and all that. So it works out. But yeah,
dozens and dozens of people will supply.
Spin and Mike, don't open it on the chat, because if you do, we might get DMCA'd. So
yeah, I'm not drunk enough to do the DMCA dance today.
We get 3 strikes, but I don't want to use any of them. But anyways, so we got. Oh, I gotta add Brundlefly, and somebody just opened my door behind me, didn't they?
Hager's asking for a flying spur command now.
I saw somebody did the tap it one.
Yeah, I think Jono did it. I sent Jono a present after last stream because I won the Flying Spur DS prize.
Oh, did you?
But I did. I had to send my friend a horse. I don't know if he's run it yet, but
Tell you what, we'll give you a flying spur share, Jono, but he'll be 34 or the project, the baby will be 34.
I'm trying to find another thing I'm going to drop in the chat. Another band you guys got to check out. The band actually they take like old wrestling interviews, particularly Ric Flair, and they put it to music. It's wild.
Oh yeah. So if you want to see the commands in the chat, you can do exclamation point commands. It'll pop a link up for you. You just click on the link. It'll tell you whatever the commands are in the chat. Also, if you want to check out the leaderboard, as far as the chat leaderboard, you just do exclamation point leaderboard, and it'll show you where you rank in the leaderboards as far as chat is concerned. So I don't know who's on top right now. Then you got 8 Ball, which is probably going to ask a question or give us an answer here in a second. But yeah. Yeah, so I don't know. I still haven't really worked out all the details on the commands. I know some of them work. I'm not sure if all of them do, but we'll work it out as time goes on. So yeah, well, that's it for this stream. But you guys all have. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Let's see. Spin got a question.
oh, it looks like Jono's horse is running today. So
Oh, nice.
see how it goes.
Oh, it
Got
won't
it.
let me drop this link in the because I'm not logged in. I guess it won't let me. But yeah, if you want to look up a band called Wednesday Night Titans,
All right, Wednesday Night
There you go.
Titans.
yeah, there you go. Just for the record.
We're a drug-free zone. No 8 Balls. Maybe. Let's see. Your raffles you ran completely skewed the points. Oh yeah, 100% they did. That was kind of the purpose. The good thing about the leaderboards is I can always reset them.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, so I can roll them back if we need to.
Maybe what we do, and we're spitballing here. Maybe what we do is we have like a weekly or monthly leaderboard that we reset, and then like whoever has the most points at the end of a week, we give like some cards or something to her at the end of a month, something like that. That might be fun.
Yeah, we could do that.
It encourages people to show up and participate. So we're just spitballing, but I like that idea. I'm not against that.
Yeah, I mean, and we could even. I mean, and that's where the dueling and all that stuff comes into play. And there's like casino games you can play in chat too. Again,
Casino games.
Yeah, I think there's roulette, and I know the duel you can wager points against each other, but that takes 2 people to do it. So one person challenges another person, the other person has to accept it, and then it just kind of goes from there, and it tells you who wins. It's all random. But I know Spin had a couple of announcements that she wanted to make.
Sure, yeah.
So we'll go ahead and we'll jump in on that.
First one, Dunville Downs already announced it in the chat, but BTV has our call-out thread for the Breeders' Bull races up. It went up this morning. We got 2 weeks to cover a race. Most of the fields are going to be pretty set, a week out. So you have plenty of time to write a race. We have obviously a lot of them. So if you can help out, that would be great. Pay is elevated for the Breeders' Bowl. If you want to cover a race that's not a Breeders' Bowl race but is run that weekend, pay is elevated. Anything you can do to help the community is appreciated. And on that note, Roxy Ken, the other editor of the BTB, and I have sponsored 2 races to be run December 16th. They are in memory of our dear friend and contributor Itch, who I think most of you know passed away earlier this year. One is 9 furlong grade 1 going dirt. Sorry, I should start that over. 9 furlong dirt, grade 1, 3 and up. And the other is a 10 furlong turf, grade 1, 3 and up. Both are open to 20 horses, and they're run in West Virginia, which is where Itch was from. So, we'd love to have as many people come and run their horses in those races. And, just remember someone who was really special to a lot of us.
Question while we're talking about it, is there even like I don't think we've ever done this. Is there any appetite for splitting those races so more people can get in? It's up to you. You're in charge. I'm just saying.
If we had enough
Entries?
people
right.
enter, yeah.
All right.
I would say whoever wants to run and just remember Itch on that day, the
Yeah.
more the merrier.
Oh yeah, I'm for it. Cool.
So, BK had a question. This is
Okay.
unrelated to the memorial, but those are awesome races that the B2B is or Spin and Roxy are sponsoring. Is it
Yes.
B2B or is it you guys that are sponsoring it?
It's us,
Okay.
but obviously it's from the connection for B2B.
Gotcha.
BTB. I'm gonna get Frank's bad habits here. Yeah, no, it's because Itch was close to us, and being the editors of the BTB, we wanted to remember him. So
Sure. Well, yeah.
Absolutely.
Don't pick up the drinking 9.5 alcohol by volume beers on stream and getting shit faced from Frank. That's a bad habit he's got.
Bad or good? I mean, depends on.
Good and terrible.
I mean, from an entertaining standpoint, it might get better. I don't know.
I like it. I don't have a problem with it.
Currently
I think
on
a lot
the
of people
0%.
Yeah, me too. I've got some bubbly over here.
oh, I've got the tea.
There we
Actually, I need to
go.
go get some more bubbly here in a minute.
So we got BK had asked. He said, "Can you force Jono's horse to manually post early so we can watch the Flying Spur debut?" That's a Mike question.
Let's see.
You would have
I
to
think
run a. You'd have to
Jono
push a race
responded
ID.
a little later, and the horse already ran.
Oh, it already ran. So there you go.
So
Okay.
I mean, we could.
that solves that.
We could certainly show the race. If
I'm not even sure how we do that, so I'll leave that up
I
to you.
just have to pull it up and then drop it into the eHorse Racing app and
Okay.
go from there. But yeah,
All right.
I mean, we could certainly show it if folks want to see it.
Donnie wants me to repeat the conditions of the memorial races. So they're
Cool.
both in West Virginia, like I said. One is 9 furlongs on the dirt, and the other is 10 furlongs on the turf. Both are 3 and up, and both are for males. So
All right.
Very good. Very good. All right. So Jono said the horse ran fourth, 71 speed, 900 meters in the next start, I guess, is what he's saying. So we have the races, Spin, are they graded or listed?
they're grade ones.
Gotcha. Rancho was
Cool.
asking.
That's even better.
All right, so Ledwith was
Better.
there. Sorry guys, I'm still trying to make sure I got everybody as far as attendance is concerned. There's Ivan, didn't see that name earlier. All right, so there's Dwayne Crisp. I definitely didn't get that name. All right, so as per usual, guys, if you have questions, it's easier if you do @Derby Fever and type your question, because if you don't, I or Mike or Spin might miss them. They stick out a little bit more if you do @Derby Fever, or at least for me they do. And yeah, we should be able to get them. We got 35 people in here.
You're not doing bad for Saturday morning.
No, not at all. Spin, was there anything in particular, like any questions you had, anything that you wanted to go over?
No, I don't have any questions for you guys. I asked my questions last time, and Mike crushed my dreams. So
Sorry. I'm
Remind
good at
us.
that. Ask my wife. I've ruined her entire life.
Remind
No,
us.
So you're lucky.
oh, okay.
I pass on bad genes to my kids. I ruin my wife's life. I mean, that's what I do, man. I'm good at this shit.
All right. Well, I will consider myself on the lucky side since I get to enjoy the game, even
That's
if my theories behind the game are not as well received. So
Well, receives different, just well implemented, maybe.
there you go. There you go. I got to say, I've been playing the game longer than anything else I've been doing in my life.
Huh.
It'll be 25 years for me next year. So
Yeah, that's good.
That's great.
even my kid isn't that old. So
My kids aren't as old as I've been in the game.
That's true, too, yeah.
I started writing the game before I met my wife, or actually, let me see. I take that back. I met my wife prior to writing the game, but I did not start dating her until after the game was already online.
it's crazy how many of us have grown up in the game.
I wasn't even born yet, so
My ass.
I'm just kidding.
You're not. The game, like I said, I actually started technically writing the game a couple years before it even made it online. So Who knows?
It was, so 25 years ago, I would have been 13. So, yeah. Yeah, I don't even think I had my first computer when I was 13. So, there you go.
What was your first computer, Frank? What time?
It was a Gateway.
Okay. So
Yeah,
an IBM clone.
pretty much.
All right, what about you, Spin?
I have no idea.
How can you not remember your first computer?
But I used to play on a Mac, the
Okay.
first one. I remember playing games on that, so that would probably be it.
All right.
I don't
I've
know.
got to see if anybody else can beat me here. I'm sure somebody's running around with like some older computer, but my first computer was a TI 99 4A. And I actually used to have to load it on a tape drive. It made a whole
God dang.
shit ton of racket when you would load it. And then I ultimately graduated to a Commodore 64. And then a
Jeez.
Commodore 128, then an IBM clone, and there you
Man.
go.
Did you ever watch that movie, The Imitation Game?
No.
The Imitation Game is basically about, I forget the guy's name now, but it's more or less about how the British cracked the Enigma code from the Nazis.
Okay.
I did watch that
You-
with Benedict
An
Cumberbatch.
Atom?
Yes,
Somebody
yes.
actually had, we have somebody that had an Atom in here. That's the old Coleco computer, right? That's crazy. Anybody have Amigas? First one would be Amiga was like for all the rich people that had Commodore 64s, but I don't think anybody like actually used them too much. They were good for graphics, I guess. But yes, sir.
Oh man.
I wanted an Atom. I remember I had the Coleco Vision. So, but yeah, I can't remember. I used to have a game called the Smurfs. It was great on ColecoVision. So there you go.
You remember Lemmings?
No.
You don't remember Lemmings? Oh my God, that was an old school game, man. You gotta look up Lemmings. Lemmings was fun. That was a fun game.
Bry's over here trying to learn Python. We're ruining his life. See, I ruin people's lives, Bry. One life at a time. If I live long enough, I'm going to ruin everybody's life. It's going to be amazing.
Let's see. Dwayne
Vic
Chris.
20. See, now I'm nerding out over Vic 20. I had actually the 64. Vic 20's tough, man, because they didn't have had hardly any memory. You couldn't do, and it had the screen was so small. I mean, the Commodore 64 screen looked wide. The Vic 20, you could only fit 23 characters on a line or something crazy like that. It was awful. Super Break It.
Let's see.
Intellivision, shit. See, I was an Atari guy. We couldn't afford the Intellivision. I love the Intellivision because, especially I would go to Service Merchandise. I remember they had the Intellivision thing where you could play.
Service Merchandise, man. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Yeah, but I loved trying to play, and I had no idea what was going on. But they always had the football game, and the guys would run like this. It was amazing.
See, Rathbeard knows. He said Lemmings was a total addiction. Dwayne Crisp said, what are the chances of more charts added to the sim? I'm not sure how tough it would be to rank sires as first-time starters, mud, sire rankings, first-time turf, first-time route. These are things that might be interesting to see in the sim. I would say not on this platform.
I would also say a couple things is, to go with what Frank's saying, everything's got to get rewritten. And it's more of a GUI perspective than anything. It's a more front-end perspective. The back-end stuff's there. But the ability to present it is so hard right now with the current platform. We're trying to move to an entirely new platform. Once that's written, things like that will be easier. Secondly, and I know I keep mentioning this, and I'm going to try to make it a promise, especially as maybe even before we get completely over to the new platform. But I would love to give you guys more data that you guys can consume on your own. So even if you had ideas, I wanted to take those ideas off channel, off site, run your own site, use the data. I think that would be fantastic. So that's where we'd love to get to stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not against things like that. I think it's amazing. I think it'd be great for the game in general. But yeah, we're just not there yet.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to get there hopefully within the next couple of years or so.
Yeah.
I mean, the rewrite obviously is the most important part because until we get that fixed up, not fixed, fix isn't the right word, but until we get that redone, we're really playing with fire. In terms of keeping the game up and running. So that's priority number one. It's going to be priority number one pretty much from this point forward. We're not really looking to add any other features at the moment. We will as soon as the rewrite is done, and then we'll work towards getting a new website up and start adding some additional things. I think, Mike, you said you were working on the race scheduler not long ago, or last week, right?
It's not so much the race scheduler as much as I was working on the version of the rewrite because I'll nerd out for half a minute here. I promise I won't take too long. The stuff in Visual Basic right now, everything that's still in Visual Basic, of course, is the race code, the thing that creates the XML JSON for the viewer, which we kind of talked about last week. But the other part that's probably been a blind spot to most people here, at least where it's at, because I don't talk about it a lot, is the thing that actually cards the races. Where the race closes, it puts horses in the race, et cetera, draws jockeys. All of that is still on VB. So I think what I'm going to do is I've rewrote part of the race code. I got a pretty good chunk. No, I won't say pretty good chunk, maybe 30% of it written. It still a lot to go. But I think I'm going to start working on that part because that is a place where I think if I can get started with that, it's Python, but it's actually mainly SQL Server, MySQL. Sorry. Frank can give me a lift with that. So I think if I kind of get started with that, I can pass some of that over to him and get him started on that, and then I can get back to the race code. So yeah, I think I just a matter of kind of giving him the bones of what the hell's going on there because it's a lot.
Yeah, we'll work it out.
Yeah.
So Dunville said he was reading an old B2B post he did where he mentioned possibly doing a pool using sim horses. Any issue with me doing a contest like this? I don't have any issues with that. I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, the only hang-ups with anything in the game and we have to be careful about is that you can't require an entry fee, at least not a credit entry fee, because that starts borderlining on gambling. It took me quite a while early on. PayPal's even shut me down once or twice. It didn't last long. But anything that starts smelling like you give credits, you give money, you get money, you give a reward, you take a reward. Points are fine because those are in-earned, can't buy points, etc. But anything that actually requires money to get something that resembles money, they get squirrely about. So other than that, I'm 100% fine with it. If it's just a giveaway, that's 100% okay.
Right.
I have a problem with it. Unless Sunville writes stuff for the BTV, it doesn't count. So
I'm fine with that too.
There you go.
So
there you got to work at it there, Dunville. So that's the prerequisites. The boss has spoken. So let's see. Will the rewrite look the same as the current program, or will it be a new interface?
It'll be a new interface if done right. There may be parts of it. I'll be honest with you, and again, I won't nerd out too much. But the good news is, as you guys saw with the Mayor leasing, the Mayor leasing is actually written I won't say unbelievably, but it would surprise you. Most of that's written in Python and SQL. And I'm actually scraping my own site to get the information and displaying it in ASP Classic. And if you actually scroll over it, you'll see stuff like MD5. So I had to write in an entire security mechanism to pass between sites. The good news is about doing it that way is that all that information, a lot of that code's already written for the Mayor leasing. I don't have to rewrite it. But the reason I'm telling you this is what may happen, the way we might attack this, is slowly but surely start writing pieces of the current game that look a lot like the current game. So we can get further along in the code. We're going to have to see how that goes and then do an overall rewrite of the HTML and the CSS, which is where Sledge 4 comes in because it's stuff like HTML, CSS, and parts of the JavaScript are really where the GUI is. And I need to, if we can get the backend code rewritten in API format, which means we can send SQL or we can send JSON to a viewer, it won't matter how it receives it. So it becomes a lot easier on the front end. So long and short, long walk around the park to get back to the same bench is that, yes, it will eventually, but maybe not until it's done. And one of the main pushes that I want to do, and poor Taffy is exactly the person, she's not the only person I'm doing this for. I'm doing this for everybody. She plays the game on her phone. It's not very phone friendly. So what I'd love to do is do a lot of the interactive, pretty much CSS. It's I call Bootstrap or some shit in HTML, I guess. I don't know. But pretty much a lot of the CSS that will be very interactive to screen size. So right now the game doesn't do that well, but that's one of the main reasons we're rewriting the front end is to give you a better mobile phone experience, which right now we've got a shitty one.
Trying to get modern is more or less what we're attempting to do. Let's see. Ivan said, "Did Spin already make her big announcement?"
I did.
Yep. It was. Go ahead, Spin.
It's not as big as the one she freaked Frank out with, but it's still big.
Yeah, Spin fucked with me good earlier.
No, the announcement is sign up to write previews for the Breeders' Bowl races. The sign up thread is on the BTB forum.
B2B.
And yeah, oh, Frank, you can get me in trouble with Squirrel. And the other is we have 2 races in memory of Itch running on December 16th in West Virginia. So,
All right, so get your horses into the 2 races for Itch.
yeah.
And special thanks again to Roxy and Spin for sponsoring those.
Absolutely. Cash Barnes here. Hi, all.
There
Hi,
we
Cash.
go.
Oh,
Barnes.
it's Roxy.
First time chatter.
Oh, it is Roxy. See, I get some people run around with like 3 different names. I always get confused who's who. So.
Yeah, it's tough. That's why I have everybody type their name in the chat, because the Twitch names are different than the game names, which creates all kinds of confusion for me. So
Yeah. Yeah, he must have heard us talking about him. So.
we got Led who asked,
Handyman over here. We say Roxy's name 3 times in the chat, and he shows up.
We got Led over here. He says, Does a mare's real pedigree like Urban Sea count for inbreeding? Example: Sea the Stars, Galileo, Urban Ocean.
Yeah, it'll matter. So yeah, it's part of it. So yeah.
And when
I mean,
go ahead.
yeah, that 5X list that you see, I mean, you just pull it up and you'll see the potential inbreeding and it all, that does take into account.
Yeah, and when we
That was one of my questions last time I was on, and you said no, the mare inbreeding doesn't count. Only the sire inbreeding counts.
Well, I mean, the sires are, let me rephrase that. Mares have sires. So that's where I'm going, is all the sires that the mare has. So maybe I misspoke, but yeah, the mare has sires. Those sires from the mare, that are applied to the mare because she has who she is. Those count in that 5 cross.
No, but
Did I misunderstand Miled's question? I apologize.
yeah, the question is, does inbreeding to the mare herself count?
right, so if you have
Breeding.
right,
So
so
not-
if
not
you have
to-
Urban Sea to Urban Sea, basically.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. I mean, don't do that. Maybe I misspoke last time, but don't do that.
So there you go. And just when Mike says don't do that, usually what that means is it's going to widen the curve
Yeah.
as far as like what the available talent,
Yeah,
not
don't
available,
do-
but what the
Yeah, I
high
mean-
could be, what the low could be.
Yeah, don't do anything that most horse people wouldn't do. Like I said, we know there's a couple of inbred gazelles out there in the real horse world, but we're trying to avoid that. So, and
Yeah.
also a couple things, and I'll be 100% honest with you. Things I say in here, I try not to lie. I've said you guys 100 times, my reading comprehension, my understanding skills at a human level is poor. So if I say one thing and contradict it, I'm not trying to be contradictory. I just probably didn't understand the question. I'm a simple man. I know how to code, but I'm a simple man. So there's a reason why I did so poorly on the ACT.
There's another element to this too, right? Like the code is a lot and it's old. So like knowing how every little instance of it works, just off the top of your head is very, very difficult to kind of
Yeah.
explain. So it's not that we try to give combative or
Conflicting.
conflicting information, but sometimes it happens. Sometimes you'll hear Mike say something, and sometimes you'll hear me say the exact opposite, and then we'll fight about who's right. So, so yeah, I mean, again, it's
It truly is a lot of code. Yeah, not to break
So
our hands,
much-
pat ourselves
so
on the
much
back.
code.
There's just a lot of code, and
can't even pat
especially
me
if
on
I
the
wrote
back.
stuff 20 years ago, I don't remember everything.
So
really,
again, a general rule of thumb as far as inbreeding is concerned, less is more. It doesn't
don't do anything worse than 3X. Don't start fucking around with the 2Xs, and do the 3Xs sparingly.
ideally.
4X, 5X is fine. 3X you can fuck with, but you better not fuck with it much. You're playing with fire. 2X, you're asking for horses that have racing ability that are equal to my reading and comprehension understanding. You don't want that. You want horses that can actually run. You don't want stupid horses.
You get Mike's ACT score, with the more inbreeding you get. But so
Exactly.
But what we mean by that, it's not to say that you can't get a good horse. It just means that you widen the curve as far as like, how talented a horse could be and how untalented a horse could be. So that's the best way to explain it. We have
You
Gert.
guys know horse racing for the most part, so
Yeah, I mean, look at it this way: the sim kind of tries to operate in how real life does.
tries to. Yeah.
Tries to, right? In real life, most folks aren't really going that route. They're not going the 2X route.
Yeah. And there early on, there were some successful horses that did that, I believe, before I really kind of like tweaked it down because I didn't think that people would try it. But yeah, I think I've learned about this game. People would try anything.
Oh, there's no repercussions.
So yeah, it was some of them were pretty ugly. They breed like the dam sire would be the offspring of a dam's dam sire, and the sire would be the offspring of the dam sire. And like that 5X board lit up like a Christmas tree. It was a nightmare.
I remember Bellata had 2 champions, I think, or at least grade 1 winners.
Okay.
Danzig, Nijinsky, Northern Dancer.
Yeah. That stuff doesn't happen as much anymore.
Yeah. I don't know that people try it that much anymore.
Yeah, don't do that. I mean, like I said, I'm warning you. A, it's a bad mouthfeel for the game. B, I'm pretty sure that if you do that now, it's going to be highly frowned upon by the code. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, I can't really comment on the code side of it. I just know that it widens the curve. That's the only bit that I saw. So Mike would have more insight on that than I would. Admittedly, Mike's right. I'm not going to dispute him.
Frank's over here reading from the Derby Fever 101 manual.
I am.
Everything widens the curve. If you don't know what to say, just say it widens the curve.
Widens the curve. Right. Well, that's what they taught me when we had the HR meeting. Just say it widens the curve. Don't give exacts. Let's see. So Gerke says, this has probably been asked before, but is there any benefit to letting newly bred horses train for a period of time before racing them as opposed to entering right away after breeding?
No, I mean, like we said, the only positive negative you're going to get out of that, the game makes the horse sharp right out the chute for a reason, because a lot of people love to see their horse race right away. Obviously, the longer you wait, the more mature your horse is going to be. So he has but of course, the more mature all the horses he races against are going to be. So there's that angle, and the more you race early on, the earlier you race, if you race often, the sooner your horse is going to start hitting wear and tear. But as far as percentage wise, if you were racing against a horse, every horse you were racing against in the race had the same maturity factor as you and the same curve, etc., then you racing right when it was bred isn't going to change your chances versus, racing it like 3 months from now and just like slow training it.
Sabbath said, I thought inbreeding was good. What are you talking about? My parents are siblings, but that's not a problem. They are cousins too. Who gives a heck?
This is like an old Willie Nelson song over here. So.
Oh, God. Try to get some comments or get caught up with the comments, rather. Looks like y'all are kind of talking amongst yourselves, which is fine.
Yeah.
Some of us are real hillbillies. We love inbreeding. Okay.
Yeah. You know what? Everyone here is aware from the way I talk, probably. And if you are not, I come originally from Louisville, Kentucky. My parents are one generation removed from living literally in a holler in Eastern Kentucky. So there we go. My dad particularly lived in a holler between 2 mountains. And it literally, the song that goes up where you don't get any sunlight, there's literally hardly any sunlight. So no shit, we would travel over a bridge because he had like a creek out in his front yard. We'd have to travel over this little rickety ass bridge with the car to get to his old house. And man, they used to throw shit in that creek. There's like old washing machines. I think somebody drove an old like motorcycle into it. It was a mess. So yeah, it's a legit thing.
Dunville said, seems like winners of our residency derby horse is racing in its 7th race. Coincidence? I don't know what that question was. Anybody else want to take a stab at that? Bueller.
I mean, if it's, I'll tell you what it sounds like. At least I could be wrong. It sounds like horses do. I mean, obviously the first race, sometimes it takes a horse a few races to get his bearings together, get his mind right, and start racing up to his fuller potential. So yeah, I mean, race 1, you're going to end up with some wonky variants sometimes, depending on your horse. By the time he's 5 or 6 races in, he's probably got his maturity about him. So it's possible that it makes sense in a way. I mean, he's getting getting that new horse smell off of him.
Sweet spot at race 7. I wouldn't say sweet spot. Nah, I would say it might just be that horse is finding its best form.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're getting him in form with the trainer, you're getting him in form with the horse. Like I said, there's also a level of player or just horse, taking a few races to kind of get. So yeah, I mean, a lot of things. If players are racing their horse correctly and things, then yeah, that seventh race is it's a pretty good place.
Taffy, do me a favor. Can you send me that American Pharoah horse that you had that we talked about earlier in the week on Slack? I'll go over it and explain. This will actually kind of help explain form.
Okay.
I didn't tell you about this, Mike, but we were talking
Yeah,
about.
I was like, what kind of secrets are you running with the?
Yeah. No. She had asked me about a horse, and it's to her credit. Taffy did a bad job with this one, and she told me I could talk about it on stream.
Taffy never does a bad job with horses.
If she's
nobody
around.
Besmirches Taffy in my presence.
But we were talking about a horse. We were talking about form. We were talking about game mechanics, and this was the definition of a horse who needed to work up, more or less.
Definition. This is the perfect example of fucking up.
Yeah, in a few different ways. So, for those of you who don't know, as far as how form typically works, your horses start off with a certain value at form. Some start higher than others. It's all random, and if they're in bad form, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're not talented or they're not good. You may see flashes of talent, but if they're in bad form, they're just not going to win consistently. That's kind of the way to look at it. So I'm sure we've all had those horses who are like, hey, they run like a 112 one day, and then the month later they're running 98s. Like, that's a good example of a horse who's just not
probably in bad form.
Right.
There's a handful of variants between the number, how good a horse can be, and there are some horses that are just like a little all over the board with that. But by and large, form is the big driver.
Yeah. So, hold on. All right, go ahead. You can talk a little bit more, Mike. I got to look this up.
Okay. But there's a couple of different forms. There's obviously a horse form. As I've mentioned, there's a trainer to horse form. So your ability with the horse is, the horse is form and the trainer horse form are actually relatively highly correlated at times because as you race a horse at the right distance, as you race a horse at the right surface, of course, it's showing that you're kind of like, your relationship with the horse is good. And obviously, since the horse is performing better and doing what he's supposed to do, he's rounding it into form as well. So those tend to be highly correlated. They're not, and then sporadically you can end up, and you'll see this sometimes with a horse where it just kind of like knocks off form, and it can happen. But by and large, if you keep racing the horse at the right distance, the right surface, give it enough rest in between, race it when it's sharp, or those things will help your form and your relationship condition or form with the horse.
Yeah. So speaking of form too, I mean, since we have one of the better players on, is there anything that you notice, Spin, when it comes to your horses and form and watching them run, or do you look at like different cycles? Do you have like any strategies?
Well, I'm a big fan of rest, and I would argue that I am not one of the more successful trainers. I think I can breed a nice horse, and then I totally ruin it when I race. Everything I do that's good, I figure I'm the horse is overcoming my bad training. But I'm a big fan of rest. I try and give my horses about 90 days off at least once a year. The good ones, the claimers can run forever. I don't care. But 90 days off and just kind of reset their form cycle. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but you get longer form out of the horses, I think, if you treat them right.
Yeah, as well as just you're going to also see as you rest a horse and give it that time off, it's not running, which A, helps with wear and tear, but B, it's generally, especially if it's 3 or 4 or even potentially 5 years old, it's moving closer most times, or a lot of times, to its maturity value. So obviously it's getting more mature as it's resting, even though it may not, that is the one thing is, wear and tear. If you keep racing a horse over and over repeatedly, it will catch you. But maturity, people don't take maturity into account long enough, and they won't sometimes. I won't say everybody, but sometimes they're racing the horse a lot of times early on and not giving it that time off, not only to rest, reset its form, etc., but also push it further towards its most likely ability to be at its full maturity.
Right,
That's
exactly.
good.
Yeah, and I mean maturity is a big thing too, right? Like maturity is where you're going to see the horse really kind of start finding its groove, so to speak. And most horses, again in the game, I've looked this number up. They average around a little bit over 4 years old, so that's when most horses are going to hit or start their maturity curve. But as far as Taffy's horse, I'm going to go ahead and take our faces off the screen real quick.
You do that, I'm going to go get me some water. I promise I'm not drinking beer at this moment.
All right. So this particular horse, again, Taffy, thank you for donating this one and letting me kind of go through it. But Taffy and I were talking, and this horse, you all would not believe if I told you that out of all of American Pharoah's progeny in the game, this horse is actually, from a talent perspective, as far as potential is concerned, this horse is one of his top 3. So, as you can see, the high here was a 101 that it ran. And Taffy never really got this horse going, number one, because she never really found the surface and distance. And number two, he was short on form for a long time. So he started with a low form rating, and it takes time to build up. So it takes time it builds up through time, through maturity, through racing. So he just would not have he never really got going, is more or less what I'm saying. So this horse, whether you believe me or not, probably had the potential. I mean, this horse was, I quoted a number when I did the B2B story about there being like 1% of horses that could run the elite numbers speed wise. That horse is part of that 1%. So I just wanted to put that out there. And basically what happened was the horse was short on form. And to be, again, not to knock Taffy here, but Taffy did give up kind of quick on that one. And really just kind of never really found the right surface or distance. So, but yeah, that's kind of it. What's the name? You're on a phone and can't see it. The name of the horse was Charles Martin, I think. Yeah, Charles Martin. So I know I missed a few questions, but yeah, I just wanted to point that out, that like there are tons and tons and tons and tons of good horses. And when I say like that horse is a top 3 horse for American Pharoah, that American Pharoah at one point was a very good, was not to say that he's bad, he's poorly rated now, he's not, but he was a lot higher rated back when this horse was bred than he is right now. So that horse was really, really good. When I say that horse was good, it had the potential to be really, 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 really good. And it just didn't work out that way. So, again, the player has a huge, huge, influence on how these horses run or how your horses run and, what the overall, or what the end result is more or less what I'm trying to say. All right, I've rambled long enough. Let's see. I got to get back to some of these questions. All right, here we go. Next said, I've screwed up plenty over the years. A rare example of one that I lucked out with very early. Good example. Also, an auction purchase that worked out. What was this one? Oh, Alert. I don't see any races for this horse. I see it retired. Let's see. 6.9 rounds. Ivan said, so my 0 for 14 Tap It, awesome against Stormcat is already mature. It's possible. It's also possible that it just sucks. Sorry. So that's the one thing, man. If you're not getting results, so I'll say this. Usually horses that do have talent, they'll flash it. Like, you'll see it. Like in Taffy's horse's case, like that horse won 2 races it probably shouldn't have in the spots that it was in. But again, it's you'll see flashes of it. So any horse that can win a race typically at the allowance level is semi-talented. Unless, of course, it's just going against completely garbage horses. So
one of the interesting things I found in your article, Frank, is how many slow horses there are in the game. It's like we all look at the claiming races that takes like a 117 to win, but it's good to know that there are some races where you don't need to go quite that fast to get a winner out of.
Yeah. I mean, they're out there. And again, I do doctor up the data a little bit only because I use certain qualifiers, right? Like I use the no hots because hots can really skew the hell out of the numbers.
Right.
And, I try to look for fields where there's at least 5 horses because, again, short fields really skew the numbers. Whether you subscribe to that theory or not, it's semi-true.
Well, I mean, yeah, especially if you're racing at CPU horses because
Exactly.
those things suck.
Right. So, but to your point, Spin, like that, I think somebody had mentioned something not long ago about how it always takes it always takes such a huge speed figure to win like a low level claimer, and that's not really the case. What it ultimately is that you have horses that are down at that level that have to run at that speed in order to win the race. So that's more or less what goes on down there. So if you see like multiple horses that are running like, I don't know, 110s in like a $10,000 claimer, it's because there's probably another horse in there that's just as good trying to, push your horse more or less. So,
Right.
and BK is pretty good about subscribing to the theory of speed figures are based off of the second best horse in the race. Because the first horse will only do, what it needs to do. Some cases that's the truth. Some cases it's not. We've seen, some scenarios where it doesn't work out that way.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Mike can
if
comment
you're seeing
on
a
that.
horse, especially if you're seeing a horse that's winning by a lot of lengths, he may not even be close to what he's capable of.
Doing it
and
easy.
I mean, that's the thing is, there's going to be some horses, obviously, that you get a better jockey. The jockey may even only allow it to win by, 2.5, 3 lengths when it could have won by 20. So it's going to be jockey specific, but it's also going to be, if you start seeing a race, especially that a horse has put a big distance between itself and especially the second place horse, that may imply that either A, the jockey sucked, B, the horse just kind of went bonkers, or C, the horse still has room to even show you more than he's showing.
All right. So Smithy asked, he said, does breeding with wide age ranges matter? For example, the sire is 20 years older than the dam sire.
No, I don't mess with that. Again, it's going to be how good the sire is, how good the dam sire is. I know I'm sure there's studies been done that older mares particularly may produce at a certain level than younger mares. But that's not in the code. So yeah, it's you're okay. You breed a Stormcat now as a dam sire, it's going to be, depending on how the changes and ratings go, which a lot of horses like that, especially like a Stormcat's not going to get change rated. You might get a little bit of fluctuation based on. I try to keep an average rating in the game from year to year, and it just I'm talking like slivers of a percent, so I wouldn't worry about that. But yeah, as far as Stormcat. His first year as a dam sire, assuming he was rated the exact same he is now, will be the same as Stormcat today as a dam sire.
All right. Sabbath had a very long question. It looks like it's like 5 questions in one. But it says, wear and tear question. If I race a horse early and often, how could it affect the horse? Will it shorten the range of the curve for when the horse is at its best? Will it lower the maximum speed number when it's at its best? Will it fasten the descent after its best period? Will it affect the horse's class? Will it affect the distance range or something like that? Or all, some or none of the above?
Let me see if I got all these right. Yes, no, yes, no, maybe. No, I have no idea. I don't remember any of the questions. So can you start with that again? I was just making shit up. Let's see.
So let's say from
One at a time.
a wear and tear perspective, it doesn't impact the horse's preferred distance, right?
Right.
That remains, that's baked into the horse, right? The horse has a preferred distance as far as that's concerned. Does it impact the curve for when a horse is at its best? Go ahead, Mike.
No, I mean, yes and no. That's a trick question. The horse is at its best at a particular time. You will never see that because by the time he's already gotten there, it doesn't change his curve. But what it does is it makes his potential to even reach his best lower because he's worn and torn. But he's still going to be at his best at the same time, regardless of. He's going to be at his best ability if you remove the wear and tear factor altogether, okay? Or say the wear and tear, I'd say, I'm trying to think of the best way to put this.
I think the easiest way to put it would be like wear and tear is like added weight to the horse.
Yeah. That's probably a good way of putting it. So yeah, the horse is still going to be at his best time wise at a particular time. But if he's tired by the time he gets there, then he's not going to be as good as if you did not worn and torn him. I guess is the best way to say it.
Yeah. So in other words,
they're unrelated.
Down is more
we'll say this: they're unaffiliated with one another. They're almost like unique modifiers in and of themselves. So one does not affect the other. They are combined together at some point, but yeah, they're parallel. They're not going to cross one another.
Right, like it won't actively diminish what your horse's capability is, like what the actual potential is, but it can, from race to race, it can have differing impacts. I guess that's kind of the
I mean, wear and tear is. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the thing especially to think about that, probably the most logical way to think about it would be that wear and tear does not affect when a horse is going to be good, but given that they are two different factors that are unrelated, a horse would be theoretically at its best. But given that they're two factors unrelated, one's going to affect the other because they are applied to the same horse.
Right.
So
just depends.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. So say what you're going to say.
You are the guest.
Yeah.
You go ahead.
Well,
you can chime in whenever you want.
Have a bit of a follow-up question to that. I've noticed sometimes with my horses as they get up there and starts, they start doing a little bit better running a little bit shorter. So like, for example, I have a horse who is graded place stakes winner going 14 furlongs, and now he seems to like running 11 furlongs better. And
really?
He's probably got like 25, 30 starts. Do you think that's just because he's finding the competition better going 11 furlongs, or is he
he's not changing, we'll put it that way.
I have a take on it. This is just like
hot take.
This is going to be so my take on this is that your horse probably wasn't best at 14 furlongs. It was probably best somewhere around 11.
And this is actually very similar to a horse I had and that I've mentioned several times, Sunken Treasure, where his range of distance was wide, but his preferred distance was actually much shorter than I had been running him. So he was a horse that was really flexible, so he could run, like horses have a range what they're good at too. Some horses are very hyper specific and they're like only good at or they're best at like a half furlong distance. Some horses have a much higher range. So, I mean, it could be that your horse maybe her preferred distance, like 11 to 13 furlongs. Okay. Dropping off a little bit at 14, but still well enough at 14. There's also not just a range, but there's also some horses drop off faster. Some horses, they'll be like, oh, they're peak here, but they drop off slowly. Some horses are like, nope, they're peak here and they're going to fall off a cliff. They can't run any further than that. Right. So it's very possible you just had a horse that was flexible in range of distance, flexible in maybe it just didn't drop off as fast, and now you're finding a better distance for it.
Yeah, I think that's 100% what it is. I think you found a good spot for it to win successfully at longer distances. Yeah. And then obviously as wear and tear picked up or as the horse got older, you tinkered with different distances that were more in its wheelhouse. And
a couple more things it could be. I mean, we know that not many horses are running those 14 furlong distances. Right. It's a hard distance to get a successful horse at. So if you got them, you take advantage of them. Maybe your horse just, and I can't speak to the horse. I've not looked at it. Maybe you didn't get pushed a lot at 14. Maybe it was at 14 and it's better, but now you're taking it down. He's finding the competition harder, so he has to run a little faster. So that could work into.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
So we got Led who asked, how did the evil dwarves choose their mounts, besides being forced when you bid a race and made her to ride your pony?
I have no idea what this is saying. Let's go back a second. Did we catch all of Sabbath's questions? Because I know he had like a laundry list. It was like it's like he was asking every question in the book. Did we get all his? Or at least the majority?
I think we got the majority of it. Okay. I mean,
I just didn't want to forget about him.
I think his main one was more or less how does wear and tear impact. And in this scenario, I think for the most part, we kind of answered that, right? Like we
tried.
not really going to have the direct impact on
Yeah.
the horse itself in the terms of like what the horse's actuals are, but in terms of like how it impacts on a race,
Yeah.
it varies. Number one,
Yeah.
and number two, it's dependent on.
Most of these things are layering on. I mean, I'll tell you this is most of the factors when we throw out stuff like horse conditioning versus trainer conditioning for a horse versus wear and tear versus a maturity of, versus jockey. Now jockey can be a little more nuanced, but a lot of those are parallels and they're kind of like melded together. But it's not like technically the horse's form with the trainer and the horse's form are unrelated to one another. But of course, if your form with the horse isn't as good as the horse's form, it's going to look like, because those two are ultimately, kind of like congealed into something that creates a race. So, I mean, every element affects a horse, but a lot of times those elements are parallel to one another and kind of combine together. They don't generally push one another.
Yeah, like they commingle in certain ways that have
Yeah.
different impacts at different points in the race. Let's see. We got Led who said, "How do the evil dwarves choose their mounts?" Mike, you can go ahead and talk to this one.
Who are the evil dwarves? I don't understand the question. I'm dumb. I don't pick up on social cues at all.
The jocks.
How do they choose their mounts? Okay, the evil dwarves. For some reason, as soon as I said evil dwarves, I was just thinking of the underwear gnome on South Park, so I couldn't stop. It's like as soon as I went to the underwear gnome, I couldn't think about it anymore.
Couldn't unthink about it. There it is.
How do they choose it? It's a couple of things. First off, if you sponsor the race, you almost always get the jockey you want. I believe that they are looking, especially in graded races, and I have to look back at this. I'm pretty sure it has something to do with like your points in the like if you're in the route, so it looks at your route points and it takes the jockeys pick the ones with the highest points in the race as far as like the entry points. Once it hits a certain point, if you're in allowance races, it may do a lot of that same thing. Again, I'd have to look. I don't quite recall, but it does relegate itself to the jockey tries to pick. Oh, the other thing I even forgot to mention, I'm pretty sure that I'd forgotten that you can give jockeys those weird bonuses and shit. So I'm sure that's involved. I honestly don't remember how, but I know if you promise a jockey certain money, especially guaranteed money, he's more likely to go with your horse. And, that's probably all up ripe for change. That needs to be changed at some point. I really don't like some of that. I think it's too complicated for what you get out of it, though your miles may vary. You guys may love that level of complexity for jockeys, but I think it's a little squishy. And this, I'm sitting here answering a question very squishy because I don't remember, to be 100% honest with you.
Mostly boils down to jocks will pick the horse that they think is the best.
Or they get a promise of money with the,
right.
And that's kind of like the raising of the salaries.
It's a combination of both. So like usually when it's tied, like money wise, the jock will basically grab whatever horse it thinks is the best and then go from there. So
that might be in the help section somewhere. I can't promise you that. There's some of that. Let me see. How jockey assignment works. E-point is a priority value based on your horse entry race. Based on your horse's performance and race type, the jockey will select based on E-point, which we kind of said. When a race is carded, the game will look at E-point value for each horse. It will choose the horse with the highest E-point and attempt to assign the horse's jockey first. If the horse has an eligible jockey flag, it will assign that jockey to a horse. If it has no jockey, it will skip that horse and move on to the next horse. How do jockey factors affect? The second jockey assignment is determined based on E-point winning. Based on the percentage of winning and guaranteed, this number is between 1 and 2. God damn, who wrote this? And I'm sure I wrote it. That's why I'm saying that. If somebody actually wrote this for me, you're like smarter than me. I was like, I must have been on a bender when I wrote this.
There's a reason the jockeys I select are all named after people who I'm friends with in the game and not anything else.
Yeah. Let's go back to the quick and dirty. E-point is probably the highest driver, particularly stakes races. The horse is trying to look at the horse that or the jockey's trying to look at the horse that he thinks he has the best chance. The easiest and dirtiest way to look at that is the jockey that has the highest E-point value, which is like where, who's earned the most in stakes races, allowance races, et cetera, at a distance and surface. After that, it has something to do. I can't promise you. I'd really have to like start picking the onion apart. It has something to do with those guaranteed money percentages. So
yep.
That's all I can say.
All right.
And again, I want to rewrite all of this stuff. So, and you know what? Actually, we might be at a good point. Well, there's the whole GUI thing. So we'll probably have to keep it the way. We'll figure that out. But I'm actually rewriting some of that code now, which means I'm going to have to rewrite something that's probably going to get torn up or refactored. Whatever. I'm just worried about coding. So ignore me. Talk to him, Spin. Talk to him, Frank. Save me. Save my flailing ass over here.
We'll get there.
Jack just wrote, "Is Mike speaking English?"
Again, I'm not. You know what? This is the problem with these streams. You are learning what kind of dolt I really am, and I apologize.
I think it's a bonus. I don't think it's a problem. Let's see. I'm trying to get the questions, guys, so I apologize. I know I'm dragging ass here. We got Dwayne Crisp said, back in the day, I used to use the turf to dirt move to tighten up horses. It worked wonders. It has not been as successful as back in the day. Was this move tweaked down a bit?
I don't think so.
I don't know that it's not like a hard-coded move.
No. I mean, it may have. I don't remember why. I don't know why it would do that. I think maybe, who knows? Maybe, I don't think that.
Another conversation that I had regarding surfaces, and I'm pretty sure maybe this was with Taffy, maybe it was with Beer Keg. I can't remember. But surfaces, there's a lot of horses that have the ability to run well on both.
Mm-hmm.
So it might have been that.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible that maybe you're giving the horse another opportunity. Of course, if the horse run like shit, I can't speak to it.
Right.
But it's possible that like you're still running a horse where it likes to be. And if you still be, because if it's a flexible horse, you're still improving on the conditioning and your horse condition or your horse form, the horse's form. I don't know. Maybe that next race still just looks better. And if it's not working now, I've really got nothing.
Yeah, and
even another thing is, and I'll be 100% honest with you too. I think another thing is Dwayne Crisp has been around long enough. He probably remembers like a smaller number of players, a smaller number of horses in the game. And the fields now are hyper competitive sometimes versus back in the day, you may have been able to sneak around and run against less competitive fields. That's just a guess as well. I can't speak to its honesty.
Right. Let's see. Your Beer Cake said you're probably or he said this to add Dwayne Crisp. He said you're probably tanking the form by running against the preferred service. It's possible. It's
not going to help the form,
right? It's possible it hurts the form, but it would have to be like, I would think it would have to be. Well, not I would think it would have to be severe. Like the surface switch would have to be really bad.
You'd have to definitely like. I mean, if it's a horse, and there's some horses that literally run like dog shit on one surface or the other, just like there are sires. If you're running horses like that, it's going to affect the form obviously a lot faster than a horse that has some flexibility. Because a horse has some flexibility, he's still kind of okay, even if it's not extreme. But you have a horse that doesn't like one surface, you run him on the other, it'll screw up his form faster. It's probably not so much like you run him once and then you take him back to the other surface and you've ruined his form. But it's definitely, there's going to be, depending on how he takes to a surface versus the other. Yeah, if he doesn't like the surface at all, you're going to hurt his form faster than if he's kind of okay with it, even if it's not his preferred surface.
Yeah, I guess as far as surface is concerned, look at it as like a kind of like a pendulum. Like the further one way you go, the less the horse is going to be good on a certain surface. So like it's possible, like if the split is like 10, right? If that's what the rating was, theoretically, and you rated a 5, that would be directly in the middle, which would mean the horse would probably be able to run on both surfaces. If he was a 1, chances are maybe under 5 is closer to dirt, over 5 is closer to turf. So it just depends on which way your horse kind of swings. So you could definitely have a turf horse who's a 55 or a 5 or something like that, and then you're running it on dirt and still seeing success because it's not horrible at dirt.
Yeah. Think of like Sing Spiel, for instance. I mean, I think he was definitely a turfer for years, and then all of a sudden they're like, hey, we're going to run him on the dirt. And he's like, I'm cool with this. I mean, like, you would never think that he could do it, but he was just fine with it. Right. If I recall. So
I think, was it Declaration of War was like that too, wasn't he? Didn't he run like second in the Classic after being like a primarily turf horse, and Giants Causeway did something similar to that?
Giants Causeway ran second. I'll never forget that heartless piece of shit giving up to Tiz Now in the fucking lane. Fucking Stormcat, gutless piece of shit.
Mike didn't have money on that.
He didn't pass on any grittiness to his offspring.
I love Giants Causeway, so even to this day, I still hit the exactive. I didn't hit the way I wanted to hit it,
right?
And it's hard not to like Who? There's Tisnow. Was that the who's
Yeah.
speeding? Yeah, it's hard not to like him, and it's hard not to like Bud Royale. So I love me some Bud Royale.
Let's see. We got. I'm trying to find questions. Beer keg 69% of the time. The second horse rule applies. Sure. Let's see. Looking for questions. T. Girk, when jockey instructions come in, any thought to having them be able to tell you what the jockey instructions were when the horse was owned by a previous owner?
Uh, you know what? Maybe that we'll get that in the feedback or something. I mean, I've got all the information. Obviously, you can look at, you can look at your old jockey instructions, but you can't look at the previous owner. So that comes down to, obviously I did that to some degree as far as like just, I won't call it, I'm going to let you take over for a second. My wife's calling, so this is never good.
No worries,
It's never
no
bad.
worries.
But let me call.
All right. So are DI CD numbers actually a true reflection on the horse's distance capability in the game or not? Yes and no. I guess the best way to answer that question. I mean, I could tell you there are certain sires that are bred to or that are coded to run, preferred distances and what have you. So, Spin, do you use the DI or the CD at all?
I don't, because the Schefter race list, which is what they're based on, is not kept updated.
Right.
But even when it was always a historical reflection of the sire, not a current reflection. You look back at like Strike the Gold was one who his DI was a 9 when he won the Derby, and it's because Alidar, who was a great sire, just didn't have enough offspring on the track to have been rated as a Schefter race.
Right.
And of course, then he gets a Derby winner, and they re-rate Alidar, and all of a sudden, Strike the Gold's DI drops under that 4.0, which was supposed to be the magic number.
Yeah, I hate the fucking Schefter race numbers. They're just whatever.
It's an interesting historical device where you can look back at what a sire did, throughout his lifetime. But as a modern, current reflection, especially since Steve, I can't remember his last name.
Romans?
The man, Steve Romans, who came up with it, he passed away. So it's not kept current anymore. So I don't pay attention to the DI and CD at all.
Yeah. I mean, like you were implying, I'm sorry I caught the tail end of your conversation, but it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy in some ways. It's like, oh, we're going to re-rate horses, so now it changes horses' numbers. Because I forget there's a Derby winner, I think, that was like under 4, and then it got re-rated. I think that's what you were saying. Then it was over 4, and then it went under 4. Because like, well, see, it's always under 4. It's like, that's not the way it works. You can't change the numbers after the fact. And then also, it's just like, newer sires, of course, they're not Schefter race, so they don't end up any rating, and then all of a sudden they get a rating which affects the whole back history. It's like it's almost self-fulfilling at some point. I'm not a fan of it, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at what the rating system was originally supposed to do, it was historically at sires, not at current production. So if you use it for that, and you go back and look historically through a pedigree, then it makes sense.
Yeah, it's useful.
It wasn't made to be a reflection of what the horse that's racing today is going to be. So,
and it's just from the heaviness side, it's kind of the same thing. It's like, obviously the number is heavier on the front end than it is the back end. And like we were saying, if that horse is a new sire, he's got nothing to rate against. So it just like she was saying, I'm not shitting on the number because it's an interesting concept, but it was just amalgamated into something that like, oh, it's a handicapping tool. It's like, well, that's
not even really that.
Yeah, that's not necessarily what the intent was to begin with.
It's more, yeah. So we're gonna go ahead and go to the next question. It was from Taffy. It says, "What does it mean when a horse comes back ready to go after a race but loses?" So I guess when a horse loses the race, you're saying it comes back RTG. The condition is still good.
Yeah, I mean, if it loses, I mean, there's times where, it's if a horse is sharp, depending on like the distance, how hard it went, etc. I mean, it should still come back ready to go. And part of that is, I think, and I could be wrong, I think that the higher the competition, the less likely it is that they're going to come back ready to go. But in claim races and stuff, they just they are what they are. I think that, and I could be wrong on that. I'd have to look, but yeah, I wouldn't read too much into it. I would read more into it of what do you want this horse to do long term? Is it a cheap claimer? Can I run it again? It's going to be able to run again quicker. If it's a good horse, I wouldn't read too much into it. Because you see that. I mean, like even in real horse racing, it's like that doesn't happen often anymore, but I'm sure it's happened where a horse will race a week prior to the Kentucky Derby because there's that little mile race at Churchill they used to have. I don't remember that. The horse would race like literally like a week prior. You see that in Australia all the time where they've got those races that are like, horse race 3 days apart. Or 4 days apart. It's a whole thing. So yeah, I mean, they could run again. I mean, I wouldn't highly advise it over and over. And I'd take your time to get the horse in sharp. But yeah, I wouldn't read too much into it.
All right. Let's see. Looking for questions. Dennis says, "Do hot races count against wear and tear? Also, why after a hot race does the readiness of a horse not change much?"
Because they're meant to. I'll say this about hot races. They do, I'm pretty sure, count just the same against wear and tear. I think we had that discussion. Yeah. I think I was wrong when I said that a couple streams ago. Again, I'm stupid. Secondly, though, the reason they come back so ready is by and large, if you're going to use a hot race as like a first start for a horse, that's kind of fun. You can do it. You can get a horse started. You can run him as soon as he goes out. That's awesome. You're probably not going to do that on the regular, but there's some hot races in their purest form were just meant almost like chat room candy, where it's like, hey, let's go and let's race these horses, knowing that they're not our best. They're not our best and brightest. That's why the points are dampened down. It's just meant to be like, I hate to use the word gamification of a game because it's kind of like, it's like taking a photocopy of a photocopy or something. But at the way, it's like literally the reason they don't come back is they're just not meant to be that important in the game, I guess. They're just kind of like meant for fun. Again, racing a horse in it won't hurt it once. But if you're racing a horse in a hot race every day, of course, you're gonna blow the poor thing's heart up. So it's like I just allow people to do it because it's not really intended to be that big a deal.
Right.
Just use it for fun.
Yeah. So I mean,
for entertainment purposes only.
There are repercussions, obviously, to doing it. Which is kind of the point that we're trying to make. So don't just hot just for the sake of hotting if you have something special in a horse. Let's see. BK said...
Spin's done with our shit.
Yep, she's had enough of us. BK said, will Flightline get a downgrade based on his stud fee drop? I would say probably not, only because...
No, I would say, yeah, Flightline is going to be Flightline. I really want to see, a couple things. I'll let you say it, Frank, and then I've got a couple of thoughts because I'm curious to hear what your thoughts are because
So my thoughts are as far as Flightline is concerned and the rating in general. The rating is good. It's not over the top. It's not elite. It's not. I mean, people are using him like he's elite, but the point that I'll make is I think he's good where he is. I think in order to get any type of movement on Flightline going forward, you got to see his babies hit the track. And that's that.
I would agree with that 100%. And the thing is, and I've mentioned this before, so I don't think I'm surprising anyone here. Flightline's as high as I've rated a sire. I can't remember the other handful of sires I've rated as high as I have Flightline. He is literally, I will not rate an unraced sire any higher than I rated Flightline this year. Will that change next year because his stud fee went down? No, I don't know what the horse has got. He's the same horse he was last year. Now, admittedly, the thing is, and I'll get back to kind of like a thought process there. Once his horses start hitting the track, if he shows quick success, he's got a lot of room to go up. Yep. Comparatively speaking, he's still rated as high as any first-year sire I'm going to rate. But I don't want this to be an Aladar situation where I sit here and think the thing's better than sliced bread, and he turns out to be a bum. So there's got to be some wiggle room there. As far as the exception being where I will rate a sire, particularly before the horses get off on the track, is if you see like it sales the offspring going bonkers, and you start seeing like a huge bump in stud fee, and you see just a clamoring for this because the horses look so good, then I will tend to increase those sires a little bit. he's so high right now. I wouldn't feel comfortable increasing his any until his horses start hitting the track. And unless his stud fee drops down to like $30 and they move him to Iowa, I'm not going to lower his ability. I really want to see what he does.
Yeah, most of the time, like most of the time, as far as the initial ratings are concerned, and I can see this stuff because Mike tracks it from year to year. It basically the way very significant things have to happen in order for a horse to get downgraded. Yeah. So like it has to be very, very obvious. Mm-hmm. So, and even then, I think Mike's pretty generous with overrating as opposed to underrating. Because
I try
because we will ultimately we want people to use the sires. Like that's mm-hmm. what it boils down to, right? So like even like I know we've said this a number of times, but the overseas stuff, right? Like we're both admittedly like we don't know much about Australia racing. We don't know much about European racing. I
mean, we know enough.
We know enough, but
we are fortunate enough to have. I know Ian does a fabulous job with the European horses. He sends me something every year. Liam, and I've got a handful of other guys that send me updates on the Australian horses. So I think we do a pretty decent job of getting those. If anything, Australian horses have some wild variance on like their stud fee sometimes. So I probably overrate some of the ones with these crazy high stud fees, even though they've not, I don't understand the Australian logistics behind that. So I'm gonna plead ignorant. Where I do overrate horses, and we probably saw this with Tonino Gimlet a little bit, I don't get a lot of really solid information on Japanese sires. I know Japanese sires tend to be very good. They should be very good. It's like, probably you could argue the most successful horse racing in the world. They just don't travel, because the purses, at least historically, have been so crazy there. There's no reason to.
Big business.
So they are probably, if we're looking at a comparative, to be on the safe side, if we're saying I overrate something, the Japanese sires is probably where I get a little bit generous. And it's hard not to, because again, I'll be 100% honest with you. I don't know how to read Japanese. So I don't know what the hell they're saying. I can look at the cost, I can look at the yen value, and I can get a baseline. But if I see the records and I see that they've got a good back pedigree, I'm probably going to rate them a little higher than the United States or even England and Australia. I mean, I'll tell you what, you guys don't know the work Ian puts in the game. That guy he'll send me pages on one sire, and he's got like his detailed information is like, it'd be like, he's going to get overused early on, but he's like tending, he's probably going to, it's almost like clockwork. The guy's rarely wrong. That's why I think, from a Euro level, especially like any of the top 20 sires that you see in Europe, he's pretty spot on with his analysis. Sometimes I'll rate him a little higher because he's cruel, man. He's like, yeah, this sire's very expensive, but he's going to be a bum. He's not always wrong, but I'm like, I can't do that to this horse. The game, and people land base me if I rate it. What he's usually spot on though, but he knows his shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see. Frankie 5'7" just ran eighth out of 10 with a 69. No bueno.
No bueno.
Horse?
What's that?
Did Beer Cake ride that horse running a 69?
Listen to Spin coming in hot.
Oh, that was a great joke.
Listen to Spin coming in hot.
Let's see. Can I ask Mike if the ABV, what's the ABV of Kentucky water, Mike?
Kentucky water. I don't know if it's as alcoholic as it is just dirty. Actually, if I recall, I think Louisville actually has relatively clean water. I can't speak to. I do know that my dad, he's at least historically, we've had like a jug of moonshine at one point, and it was like paint thinner. I mean, it was like undrinkable. So yeah, I'm sure it was like 200 or at least 180 or some shit. I have no idea though.
Jesus. Let's see. Is it possible to add a best available when it comes to jockey selections?
Ish. I mean, I think it's. If we do that, everybody's going to use it. It's the reason why I don't use LASIX in the game. I mean, like everybody's going to use it. If it's like, why not? Use the best available. So it's, you would just literally see, who's the best. Should the computer decide that? Should the player decide that? Is it based on winning percentage? Because if it's based on winning percentage, you're going to have a good jockey that may have had a bad run and he's never used. So it's kind of again, almost like we were talking about Chef de Race. If we use in-game stats, it's almost a self-fulfilling prophecy. The bad jockey or the jockeys that have a bad run are going to look like they have a bad run. Bad jockeys that had a good run are going to look like better because they're getting better horses consistently. So it's kind of like feeds upon itself. That's the only thing is that I don't think it adds. It starts making the jockey choice element. I won't say obsolete, but it kind of like it takes a little bit of the pow out of it. That would be the only reason.
It removes an important element of the game.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and that may be we may look into some options where things like that are available at some point to certain things, but I don't know. I would say at least short, medium term, I've got no real, no inspiration to add it.
Let's see. Dwayne Crisp said, is dark gray a new color in the sim?
It's yes and no. It probably is on the 3D viewer. The 3D viewer, we added several colors, and I kind of like. But if you watch the 2D viewer, there is always like a smoky gray, though not many horses had it. I think that I think with the new viewer, I think I've increased the percentage of, or I think maybe I didn't. I think maybe I'm increasing the percentage of horses that get smoky gray because I like it. But yeah, the old viewer had it. The old 2D viewer had it. You might not find it very often. But yeah, the new 3D viewer does have some extra colors. I think we got 9 colors with it, so you'll see a little more variance on some of the colors of the horses than you used to, even in the browns.
Next question: if a sire produces a strong result with a mare and you run that same sire back next season to that mare, is it a purely random on the result again?
Yeah, I mean it's not. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I mean, there's more to the question, but it's basically this. It's basically what it's asking.
Yeah,
it's all random. Each instance of it is random. It's you might get an amazing one this season. You might get a shitty one next season. It just depends.
And the exception being, of course, is that this is probably going to get me in trouble with spin again. But of course, there's going to be some variance based on your back pedigree. Horses that have a higher back pedigree are going to potentially perform better, versus, and you're going to not see as much variance. So if you get lucky and you have a horse that was bred like shit and he's just like a world beater, yeah, next time you're not going to be so lucky. If you have a horse that's bred to the gills, then yeah, you've got a chance to get a very similar result just because the variance curve is going to be, you're already probably pretty high on the variance curve.
Right. I mean, you're essentially using the same data again, right? To build out the horse. So it's possible that you get the exact same build, although it's highly unlikely. But it's all random. So
I think this is one of those almost similar, I won't say almost similar, but ish, same mouthfeel as the does the wear and tear affect the form or whatever, not the form, whatever we said, the distance curve. It's like it doesn't, but based on the way that things are coagulated, it's possible to make that assumption. But if that horse, it's going to, the breeding of one horse this year and a success of that horse will not affect that breeding in future breedings. We'll put it that way.
Yeah. Can you boost my namesake jockey? He fucking sucks.
Maybe the people that get him to ride their horses suck. Maybe he's great. We don't know.
Yeah, very possible.
There is some variance in some of those jockeys that don't get the love they honestly, and I'll be 100% honest with you, and I won't dox. There's no doxing going on here, but some people that have great horses in the game, of course, they have their favorite jockeys, and by design, because they've got by and large better horses. They know where to stick their horses. The jockey looks more successful. Other people look at that jockey. They start using that jockey to ride their better horses, and it's kind of like a self-fulfilling prophecy in some ways.
Let's see. I'm just trying to get caught up with comments here, guys. So, I think we're mostly caught up.
All right. Well, I'll tell you what this sounds like then. Sounds like I've got to give something away.
Let's see. Oh, one more question from Beer Cake. Can we give our jockeys a bump? Oh, this isn't a real question. Can we give our jockeys a bump to make them
You
race
should have known
sharper?
that from the first.
I know he always
Sometimes
throws
he'll
a
ask a
fast
real
one by me.
question. Sometimes he'll ask a real question. He had me almost looking up a porn star in one of our streams. So yeah,
He
you got to
sure
be careful
did.
with this cat.
Well, he got me to look up a 2-year-old and actually comment on it because I was too drunk to realize what the hell I was doing. So I was on a roll and I was like, yeah, let's just keep it going. And I just blindly did it. Didn't look at the ID number. Didn't even look at the fact that there was only one race. Yeah. So let's see. So we're gonna give some stuff away, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna give away some cards, but if you take the cards, the one agreement you have to make is I'm gonna give away 3B cards. But part of this also you get a horse, and I'm gonna the horse's name is Juice Demon. And let me see, I just bred him.
Oh, you get
And
the
I
horse
don't know if
too.
it's yeah, you get the horse. It's not the best bred horse. I think the sire's Onion Juice. The dam sire, however, is Stormcat, and the dam sire, I think, let me see, I could be wrong. I'm gonna have to look. It's got Onion Juice and it's got a demon horse in it, but it's got Stormcat in the middle. So I think Onion Juice is the dam sire. I think
Is it an
Stormcat's
admin?
yeah, it's an admin. Don't show him that code.
What do you mean? What do you mean? That's just. Oh, there you go. Demon Warlock, Stormcat, Onion Juice.
Yeah, there you go. So what number is that? So I know. 124 000 555 something.
3-1.
Let's see. 55531.
Yep.
How many zeros in front of it too?
Oh,
I think-
hold on. It was 3 zeros. 1, 2, 4,
Three
3.
zeros?
Yeah, 1, 2, 4, 000, 555, 3-1.
How did I ever think we were going to have that many horses in a year when I started numbering these horses? That's insane. I think we have gotten over 100,000 maybe one year, but I don't recall.
I'd have to look it back up. But
I know we've gotten in the 70s and 80s.
we
but
got
I'm not sure if we were.
close.
Yeah.
Real
But
close.
I think I just got I was like Pavlov's dog when I rewrote the game because I got so close to like running up against our race limit that I was like, I'm just gonna add a whole bunch of extra numbers in here. So yeah. Anyway, long story short,
Cops are the inverse of real life ones. Sim goes up and real life goes down.
yeah, it's kind of a shame, isn't it? I wish real life would go up, but at least in the United States, I can't speak to the Europe. I know Australia's still like they love their shit there, man. They love that horse racing shit. In the States having a little struggle. We're struggling a little bit. So
I
So-
think the major European countries have gone down to
Really?
recent years. Yeah.
yeah, I can't speak to that as well. So yeah, sadly, and it's probably could be very somewhat closely related to as it does bad here. There's less sire, they get less money for they have to like tamp down the horses, etc. Maybe they just don't, farms are struggling. I don't know. I'm speaking out of my ass. Long story short, we're giving away the demon juice or the juice demon. Sorry, and we're giving away 3 sire cards. You want to do like you want to just do the spinning wheel or can we do a
we do a
we could
raffle
do
if you want.
Let's do the raffle.
All right, we'll do a raffle. So, guys,
And
go ahead.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Mike. Say what you're
no,
saying.
you fucking you know how to do the raffle. You tell them.
All right, guys. So I'm gonna drop in. Oh shit! I'm gonna drop in a command here in a second. It's exclamation point raffle. If you want to join the raffle, you have to type in exclamation point join after I do exclamation point raffle.
And pay attention because we've had a few people miss the raffle after the fact. So yeah, we'll give you a second to think about it. But yeah, definitely.
So
You've got. Don't they have like a time limit?
They do have a time limit. So again, when I open the raffle up, that's when you type in exclamation point join. I think it's 30 seconds.
Yeah, and you will get some extra points, but also the first person listed is the one that wins the cards and the course.
Right. So here we go. It's raffle is open, I think.
Is it okay if I hum the? Is it okay if I hum the Price is Right music, or is that going to be a problem?
You should be
what?
fine. I don't know. It says no one entered the raffle. Hold on a second. Oh, I think that was the first raffle for whoever typed in raffle.
Oh, can they do their own raffles?
I think they can because I don't think I've set permissions on it.
We need to do that.
Yeah. Try not to type in exclamation point raffle. So we'll do this. Chatbot, chat commands. Where's raffle? Raffle. Let's see. This is both online, offline. User level is moderator. No, we'll just limit it to broadcaster. All right. Well, let's see what happens. Let's see if it goes off. I didn't see the notification. So maybe we are stuck on the spinner.
Yeah. Okay. We're shit can the raffle. It's whatever the raffle shows, I'll give you something, but it's not the. You know what? If the raffle ends, I'll give away at least 3 C's. But otherwise, let's just move to the spinner. All we got to do is fill it in once, right? It's kind of a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Hold on. I'll move the spinner over to the screen so you can't see our beautiful faces any longer. But we have the spinner up. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna just announce some names. I think you cut it off by typing raffle. Well, if I did, then
we're dumb. Spin the wheel. Rar Minsky says, "Spin the wheel, make the deal."
All right, so here we go.
Fucking Tina Turner over here in Thunderdome.
So we failed miserably on the raffle, but make sure your name is here. I got Kim Uggle, Dunville Downs, Thunder Thor, Sabbath, Daniel Jacobson, Baseball, Elfstrom, Amir, Gerke, Dingo, 10 Point, Padre, Rathbeard, Super Taffy, Smithy, FL Rancho, Bailey, Mighty Forgo, Woet, Brundlefly, MTK, Beer Keg, Giano, T-Gurk, Sea Cadet, Shag Farms, Next Bonus, Ledwith, Ivan Yamil, Dwayne Crisp, Roxy. I think I missed Bazal's.
Roxy.
Did I get Dennis?
I'm not on that wheel.
Yeah, dude, we get the guest gets a chance. That's not fair.
I won twice last week.
Yeah. Well, you answered that Dan Soder question out of the fucking blue a couple weeks ago too. I was impressed.
I'm good at Googling.
I think. Did you not know Dan Soder? Because you popped up quick. That was like I just literally said he's like does like impressions. I'm surprised he showed up that high, but what do I know?
All right, so I got Dennis.
I was trying to be coy about it, so because there's a lot of comedians that do impressions.
All right. So I think we're good.
All right.
I'm gonna go ahead and press the button here. This is for 3 B cards plus Demon Juice. I think was the name.
Demon Juice.
Daniel is on here. I got him on here. Daniel Jacobson. He's right here.
Yeah. Yeah, your odds of getting a Stormcat bred dam sire that's bred this horribly in the other 2 positions is rare. So think of this thing as more of like a rarity. It's like an NFT. It's not worth anything, but it's rare.
All right. Ready? Here we go. We're spinning.
We've already got spin here.
Ooh, it's Bazals. There we go.
So you got to, you got to wait to announce the winner because there's a slight delay.
Well, for them watching.
I guess you're right. See, I'm stupid. I'm slow. That's why Frank runs this. I'm the dummy. Who's the dummy? Mike's the dummy. So Bazal's getting some B cards and more importantly, the Juice Demon.
There you go. All right, so that's the first one.
I hope Juice Demon turns out well for you, Bazal's. I really do.
Yeah.
Odds are it won't, but it's there. Odds are it won't.
There is a shot.
So you say there's a shot.
Let's see. On the wheel, Mike. Let's see. Okay, so we're good on that. We have. What do we want to give away next? Spin.
Why don't we give away a horse?
Okay.
Not the Juice Demon? Would somebody like the Juice Demon too? No, there's no horse.
Let me find the horses. So Spin gave me 3 horses to breed. I bred 2 myself, and we do have 5 shares that we're going to give away as well. But the first one, Spin, I'll leave them up to you. We'll give you your 3 if you want to pick from those. We have Queen's Buckeye, who's Lonro, Dane Hill, and Monson. That's the first one. Then the next one is Spinning Spirit, which is Invincible Spirit, Dubawi, and Dynaformer. And then the last one is Spin Up, which is Upstart, Giants Causeway, and Danzig. Which one?
Let's go with Spin Up.
Spin Up. All right.
There you go. Upstart's one of those sires I wrote about being a good value. His stud fee's going up from 20,000 to 30,000 next year. He's a son of Flatter, so a different line of AP Indy besides Tappet. I like him a lot.
All
I
right.
like him.
I like him as well. I think he's a pretty. I think I have a decent runner out of Upstart. If I'm not mistaken. I have to find it, but I'm pretty sure I have a good one. Or not a graded or a stakes winner, but just one who kind of takes care of business at the allowance level. So,
PCOB, baby.
all right, we're spinning. This one counts. Oh shit!
Hot shit. What?
What the hell just happened?
What'd you do?
I don't know. I just lost the wheel.
How did you do that?
Oh, there we go. Roxy Ken won.
Sounds like some bullshit to me.
Well, we'll give that one away. That'll go to Roxy Ken. Sorry, guys. I definitely screwed something up there. I don't know what I did, but Roxy Ken won. That was Spin Up, right?
Yep.
All right. Do you have any trivia? Any other?
I've got a trivia.
All right. We'll do some trivia. Maybe you want to do a share or B cards. Your pick, Mike.
Let's do some B cards, or let's do some C cards. No, let's get B cards.
All right.
Then to make it worth their while to be here.
B cards. Get your Google machines ready, guys.
Frank dropped this term a couple minutes ago, and this ought to be an easy one. Taking care of business. Who sang the old rock song? Who was the band? Not the singer, the band. We'll even take the initials of the band if you don't want to type the full name. Taking care of business. Yep, Bachman, Turner Overdrive. You got it. Gerke.
Gerke got it?
Gerke got it.
All right, so Gerke's getting B cards.
Smithy says BFO. I don't know what that is, but yeah, not quite. But we're also a little late.
Gerke. All right, all right.
Let me see. Oh, I missed by Supermanx. You get it too. My bad, Supermanx. We give. You know what, Gerke? I lied to you, so I'm going to give you 3 C cards, and then we'll get a Supermanx, 3 B cards. Supermanx, who is your stable? Is that
Thunder
your
Thunder Thor.
Thunder Thor. Sorry, taking care of business. So I'll give you those C cards, Gerke. I apologize for lying to you. It's not my. But Thunder Thor gets the B's. Gerke gets the C's.
Very good, very good.
How do you spell Gerke?
Gerque.
There it is. I got it. Got it. I'm stupid.
Boy,
Right,
that like function is or operand is a lifesaver. Let's see. So Thor got. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to keep track of prizes here too. So Thor got B cards, right?
Yep.
All right.
Gerke got some C cards for
Gerke
my
got some Cs.
stupidity.
All right. So we did an easy question. Spin. Do you have any trivia?
I do not. I did not come prepared today.
That's all right. Let's see. You know what? I don't know if that's the answer. Spin, maybe you know this. Do you remember how many Grade 1 winning horses Itch had? There's only
I
one.
can guess. I am pretty sure I know.
There's one in particular that I'm thinking about that he always used to talk about in chat. He would come into chat and talk about this horse all the time. And I remember, man, what was it? I was going to do a question about it, but I'll pass on it. I'll save it for another day. But
I got a question.
Go ahead.
One for our Aussie players.
All right. Here we go.
All right. Who's the sire of this year's Everest Cup winner?
Oh, shit. I mean, you don't have, it's not limited to Aussie players, but they're more likely to know.
Yeah, last time I did a Breeders' Cup question, so
that's fair.
Why can't I find the chat? There it is. All right, we got.
got it.
So you think?
So you think?
There it is. El Bailey
Frank's
knew who I was talking
favorite
about.
Aussie sire, who everyone's giving him shit about.
That's true. Everyone is giving me shit about. So you think, but just so you all know, he is a share that I'm giving away today. So, all right. So what were we giving away with that?
I thought a sire share.
Oh, okay. So we'll give away So You Think.
There you go.
All right. Who won that? Bazals?
Yeah.
All right. Bazals gets it. Bazals is on a roll. Here we go. All right. So we're going to spin one more time. And this is going to be, here you go, Spin, pick a horse. We got Queen's Buckeye, Arts of War, Early Again, or Spinning Spirit.
Let's do early again.
Early Again. This one, just so everybody can see, Early Again is early voting, Wild Again, and City Zip. So try to get a couple of sires in here who will not be available for breeding next year. As you guys know, early voting and has breeding issues, and our art collector passed. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and spin the wheel, or not. There we go. Ooh, Dunville Downs. There we go.
I think Thunder Thor almost winning something else.
I know. The wheel likes who it likes. Let me try one more time. I'm going to type in !raffle again. And
right.
if y'all can, do join, and maybe you'll win something. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll try that.
Go ahead. Now type !join. There you go. Type in !join. We'll see if this bad boy works. Nope, it didn't work. It killed it for some reason. I don't know what it's doing. I'll have to look at it again and see what's up with it. I don't know why it's just killing it right away. All right, I'll have to fuck with that later. That's bothering me though. All right, so Dunville, congratulations. You won the early voting horse. All right. So anything else you guys want to talk about, or should we just keep giving shit away?
You know what? I'm feeling generous. We'll give a little more shit away.
Give some more shit away? What do we want to do? We want to
Did
do
somebody actually bred a fucking horse under me? I think it's fucking whatever. I'm gonna have to say. I'm gonna see like the most recent horse breedings. I have a feeling somebody sniped a horse name of a horse I was going to give away. So I'm gonna let you give shit away. I'm over here. I'm over here all salty now.
Sabbath says spin the wheel. All right, we're gonna go ahead and spin the wheel because Sabbath is laying down the.
He's got like the chill of a guinea pig, man. If you guys got guinea pigs, you know what I'm talking about. Those little guys like won't leave you the fuck alone. You can feed them as much as you want. You be nice to them, and like 2 minutes later, they act like you're the worst person in the world. Little assholes.
Here we go. We'll let Spin pick again. Who we going with this time? Which we doing sire share or are we doing horse?
Let's do sire share.
All right, we are going to do. This is for Midnight Loot.
Oh, I got it.
Now that's another good one. Dirt sire.
That's a spicy meatball.
He's a good price.
Midnight Loot is a good one. I've used him from time to time. I get some good runners out of him. So
yeah, I've had a couple of stakes winners by him. Mostly dirt sprint, but
yep.
Decent horses.
Oh, yep. There we go. T-Gurk. T-Gurk wins the Midnight Loot share.
We got a Gurky. We have a T-Gurk. It's a big Gurk fest up in here.
Indeed. There we go. All right, we got winners.
Pull out your Gurkin party.
I still remember back in the day when every time I hear Gurk, or Gherkin for that matter, I remember old Ace Ventura movie. There's a scene where Jim Carrey says the word dick, and for whatever the reason, they put it on TV. It was on TV, and they, you know how they do the voiceovers for certain words?
Oh, yeah.
Instead of saying dick, they said gherkin. So now every time I hear Gurk or gherkin, that's what I think of is Jim Carrey and Ace Ventura and that scene. And yeah, fun little story about
yeah. Fun fact.
Fun facts. Let's see. So, I mean, we're not exactly done with the Q&A portion of the chat, but so if you guys have questions, still feel free to ask questions. I know we're giving shit out.
I have one question.
Sure.
On the dormant mares.
Yes.
I know they're dropping by 250 credits every week. Is that going to be until they get to 500, or
there's yes and no. It's going to drop and then it's going to slow down. Let me tell you, I'll actually read the pace because it does dropping to 250 now. Obviously, you see that. Let me go look at the date. I'll tell you the exact timings here. This weekend, tomorrow, actually, I'm going to be running it manually again. Make sure it works, baby. Step it through. It's at 1,500. The following week, it'll be at 1,250. That's the 28th. On 11/4, it will be at 1,000. Now this is where it starts dropping slower. The next week on the 11th, November 11th, it'll be 900. November 18th, it'll be 800. November 25th, it'll be 700. December 1st, it'll be 650. December 8th, it'll be 600. December 15th, it'll be 550. December 22nd, it will be 500. And then if that point, there's probably a lull of at least a day or so. And the plan is at that point is to open the mares up just in case people still have stuff they need to breed. But those prices that you see that you'll pay in real time, when I say they're open up to like the old mare where you go grab them, they're going to be in real time, but they'll also be probably higher than the 500. So they'll probably whatever the old range was. I'm not sure the old last year. I don't think we ever got down to 500 for those retired mares. Do you know? Does anybody remember? I don't know.
No, I don't think it ever got that low.
Yeah. But yeah, so my advice to you is go do the dormant mare leasing if you want them because you'll get a better price. It's kind of like getting a airplane ticket late in the game. It's going to cost you a little more. So yeah, get it watch cheap.
Okay, thank you.
Oh,
hopefully,
shit.
Yeah. Oh shit! What?
I think I figured out why the raffle's not working.
Shit. Yeah, as far as the pacing goes, it goes down 250 until it starts going down 100, and then at the very end, it'll start going down 50.
Okay, that was what I was wondering.
Yeah, and you can probably, I won't promise you this, you might be able to see a little bit of that in the upcoming. I don't remember. Let me see, like in the upcoming list. If you get, I'm going to look breeding, fine mares. I'm just going to poke around just in case it's still. Now I'm curious. All mares right now, of course, there's a 1,500, so it's looking 4 days. In 4 days, it does show 1,250. In 1 week, it'll show 1,250. So I don't know. In available in 2 weeks, it's going to show 1,000. So yeah, you can dick around with that little drop bar, the available end days, and it'll show you. It'll give you an idea. Like on available in 25 days, it'll be down to 800. In 45 days, it'll be down to 500. So yeah, you can use that to kind of get you an idea of where it's going to be. It's not, you might miss a jump here or there, but you get the cadence, something similar to that.
All right, we're gonna try this raffle thing one more time. If I fix this or not. So let's see.
What are we giving away?
We'll do another sire share. What do I have here? We have 2 sire shares left, or 3 sire shares left. We'll give away Russian Revolution.
Oh.
All right, so now type in, I think the raffle should be live. Type in ! join. See what happens.
First person listed gets it. In case you get 3 winners.
Well, it should only shoot out 1. I don't know.
Okay. I guess we'll find out. First person listed wins in the raffle. If there's extras, I'll give the other 2 people a little something, but I won't give you. It's not like I'm going to load you up.
Yeah, I know. I put an S in front of the raffle. That was. It's a different command.
Oh.
Nope, not a typo. I'm aware. I am aware.
Sraffle.
I'm aware of what I did.
Listen to it. I gotta get out. We got the guinea pigs out here chirping at you.
I know. I appreciate the S join.
Join short raffle. Join.
See if it works. I don't know why it's not working this round, but it should only take. I think it only goes for 30 seconds.
It looks like it's going longer. You're just screwing with these people.
I am. I'm fucking with everybody. I just want people to type in the word join.
Yeah, if you want to enter the next raffle, enter in your credit card number and include your mom's maiden name. And do not do that. Please don't do that. I was 100% joking.
Mike's thinking he's George Santos now.
All right, so
I am the world's most amazing man.
All right,
also the Queen of England, but that goes without saying.
You guys are gonna be mad at me. I fucked that one up too. So I actually turned. I disabled the the command. So we're gonna try this again. Now try.
Spin the wheel.
There we go.
Oh,
try.
You're gonna. Okay.
Now try it. Go. Type in ! Join. Go. Go.
I really want to believe you, but this is feeling like one of those, sometimes you know what you're getting here. Hopefully it'll work this time. If it doesn't work this time, we'll do 2 spins and give away some nice stuff.
No, Stream Element is telling me it's working now, so we're good.
Okay, yeah. Stream Element. All right. Sraffle.
We'll end in 7 seconds, according to Stream Elements.
Type faster. Type faster. Do not put your credit card number or your mother's
There you
maiden
go.
name, though.
D Money Schaefer wins.
D Money Schaefer.
All right, Dennis Schaefer wins the Russian Revolution share.
Waiting for a revolution.
See, I knew
you know.
I know what I'm doing. See,
Nobody doubts you,
I
Frank.
know what I'm. Well, I kind of doubted me. It took like 7 tries, but I finally got it.
There were 7 very ambitious tries, and we're all proud of you, Frank.
Yeah, troubleshooted it on stream. See that?
Look at you.
Focus. Just let Mike talk
All
for a
right,
little while.
All right, I'm just sitting here having a good old time. You know what? I'm going to give something away. We got to think of another shitty like trivia question that I could ask.
D Money Shaver says, "Did I win everyone's credit card info?" Yes. Yes, you did.
My credit card is 555555555.
No, Frank, I have no clue. Pure luck. You're absolutely right. It was a guess.
If you actually want to know, I'm pretty sure like when I test stuff for the game, when I have to test the credit card server, because sometimes it'll go wonky. Now I have to like do something else. I have to give it a little more information, but I always use the credit card number 555-555-555-555. So I wouldn't recommend trying that because that's probably that would probably be considered trying to scam somebody's credit card. But I'm going to rest assured that's nobody's credit card number.
I think
Could be wrong.
you might be good on that one.
Yeah,
You might be good there.
I got to think of another trivia question. No, maybe a music question. Let's see. I can't think of any questions right now. Give me a few minutes. I'm a little slow this morning.
So let's see. Spin. What? Maybe you could help us out here. Go ahead.
I got a trivia question. Last trivia question, and you get 3 B cards and another horse that I just bred named Mike's Bad ACT. And Mike's Bad ACT has the following pedigree. It is Handsome Mike, He's Bad, and Golden Act. So there we go. You get this amazing horse. You can do with it as you please, but you also get 3 B cards, which is probably what you're going to want. This is not a music question. This is a sports question. Sports. Who did Kamaru Usman replace in the fight that he's fighting today against Khamzat Chimaev? The original person that was scheduled for Khamzat Chimaev that ended up having to pull out of the race, I think because of a staph infection or some weird elbow infection. This is not Jones.
Easy one.
We don't have any UFC fancy. Not Peter North, some YouTube guy. That's actually a good guess given the proclivity for fighting YouTube guys, but that is not the correct answer.
So UFC fights tonight. UFC goes
It's not
tonight.
McGregor,
No.
not Chelsea Green.
Kamaru Usman replaced who?
Yeah, the name of the person Kamaru Usman replaced in this fight. Not Oliver Norton. Paulo Costa. There it is.
D-Money Schaefer's cleaning up.
Yeah, he knows how to use a Google.
Whoa.
Yeah, poor Spin is probably over there waiting, biding time. She's like, I know this because I know how to use Google, people. Come on. Of course, I will say this, and everybody's defense in this room, Google's not as good as it used to be. It's kind of hot shit lately. So, yeah, it's a little harder to look up things than it used to be. Damn AI bots. Let's see.
All right. Hoist
All right,
Grace.
so
you spelled hoist wrong.
Close enough.
That was good enough. That was a good try, Bazals.
So, yes, I'm giving you your 3 B cards, and Mike's Bad ACT is now yours for the abusing.
And 3 Bs. All right. Let me
Yeah.
Mike's Bad ACT, which leads to Mike's Bad Act.
Yeah. You know what? I tried to put the dots in between. I might go, I'll have to rename it because oddly enough, and I didn't know this until I tried to do this, I initially named it Mike's Bad Act. And then I learned that you can't rename a horse with like periods if the horse's name is the same. So then I tried Mike's Bad ACT. So I think it strips out any extra characters like the periods and strips out the spaces to look and see if it's already bred the horse. So yeah, you're stuck with Mike's Bad Act, which is probably even funnier when you think about it.
All right. Sabbath is
You guys
yelling
don't
at
know
us.
what I do in my free time.
Sabbath.
Sabbath's like, God, just give me free shit.
Spin the wheel. Sabbath is yelling at us. All right. So we're going to give away Spin. We'll leave it up to you again to pick a horse. We're going to do, there's Spinning Spirit left, Arts of War, and Queen's Buckeye.
Let's do Queen's Buckeye.
Queen's Buckeye, which was, let me find the page. Lonhro, Danehill, and Munson.
Oh, okay. We gotta plug Lonhro here. He's one of the best sires Australia's ever had, and this is his last year in the game, so use him while you got him.
Yeah,
Oh no.
and he's not.
Oh, no.
He's rated very well.
He is.
So
He's
go,
all right.
go buy him up. Spinning the wheel because
Making
Sabbath
a
told
deal.
us to. Oh, Jono. There we go. Jono wins Queen's Buckeye.
Awesome. Give the Aussie an Aussie.
There you go. Congratulations, guy. All
We
right.
will not give you Foster's beer. We realize it's not Australian beer. We figured that out on the stream when I drank one. Of all the hangovers I had, even the one that we had like last 2 times ago when I actually admitted I was drunk on stream, I think the one that I drank the Foster's was the one that was the worst because that's a bad beer, man. And I realize that's not Australia's fault. That's America's fault for lying to the American public. Aussies had nothing to do with that swill.
Foster's is cat piss, Mike.
It's not good.
That came from Jono.
It's not good. Yeah, I agree. 100%.
There we
Absolutely.
go. All right. So let's see what else we got here. We got a good magic share that we can get rid of.
Ooh, that's a nice one.
Yeah, he'll be getting a nice
Save it for
bump.
next year. Yeah.
So we're going to do a raffle on this one. So when you see the raffle on chat, make sure you type in !join. Here it goes right now. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Type in !join. Join my raffle. Please let my system pick a winner. All right, it's working. We're good. We're good.
I have a feeling that even after we stop the stream, Sam is going to be hanging around this chat room just saying, spin the wheel.
Probably just going to be typing in !raffle. Or
He's
join.
gonna be trying to eat his dinner tonight on his phone and trying to like serve. It's just, spin the wheel.
Here we go.
No chill, Sabbath. No
Oh,
chill.
the raffle has ended and Jono won. There you
Wow.
go.
Jono.
Jono back to back on the wheel and then the raffle.
This wheel seems like it's loaded.
Yeah, I think the wheel might be chalked. So Jono gets the good magic share. Here
Save
we
it
go.
for next year, Tano.
Yep, hang on to it.
Magic.
All right, so what we have left is we have 2 horses left and we have 1 more sire share. Oh, it might help if I type that in right. Yeah, we have 2 horses and a sire share left. You guys have trivia? You have anything? Any other clever ways you want to give something away?
No.
I'll
I'm not
do a
too clever
trivia.
at the moment.
There we
Yeah,
go.
you can do a
Since,
trivia.
since Mike does so many music questions, my favorite band is called the Mountain Goats. The
Yeah.
lead singer of the Mountain Goats has written 3 novels. If you name the first novel he wrote, you get to win what, Frank?
We'll let the person pick. It's Arts of War, Spinning Spirit, or a Kodiak share.
All right. Let's see who can come up with this.
Not getting many
It gets
answers.
quiet.
everybody's focused in on the Google's machine. Oh, we got Larry says Devil House.
Not quite. Oh, FL Rancho got it.
Oh, Wolf
Well,
and Ray.
Rancho.
All right, so Rancho gets the win. Rancho, you can choose Arts of War, Spinning Spirit, or a Kodiak share. Let's see. No answer for. Oh yeah. So FL Rancho won. So we just got to figure out which she wants. Can you see the horses? Yeah. Arts of War is Art Collector, Empire Maker, and Warfront. What was the other one? Spinning Spirit. Spinning Spirit was Invincible Spirit, Dubawi, and Dynaformer. So very, very nicely bred horses.
And Kodiak, if I'm recalling, is like a chewing tobacco.
I got to plug Invincible Spirit too. He's getting up there in age, and he might not be around next year, but he's a damn good sire too. He might
Damn
be around
fine,
next
sir.
year, but it's a roll of the dice.
So we
So
got. Oh, you're
It's a
gonna go with.
spin of the wheel.
So
there you go.
Rancho's gonna go with art collector.
All right.
There we go. Arts of War. Is going to FL Rancho. Okay, so that leaves us with Spinning Spirit. It also leaves us with the Kodiak share. Oh, now Kim is yelling at us to spin the wheel. All right, I
You,
think
you damn you damn Swedes have no chill, do you?
Oh, here we go. Let's find the wheel if I can find it in all my chaos here. All right. We're going to spin the wheel. Yeah.
Dane, I'm sorry. That is my apology. For some reason, I thought you were from Sweden. Him. So that is my bad. He's Dane. Is he Dana Dane?
Chat jumping all over you. Oh, looks like it's going to be Wrathbeard.
God, he's winning everything.
I don't
Where
know.
is he? Or did we just
Spin.
we
what did
talked about him a
Commented
lot?
on his name. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
What did we give away? Spin. Was it the sire share or was it the horse? I'll let you pick.
I thought it was the horse.
Oh, it was the horse. Okay, perfect. So that would be Spinning Spirit. So Wrath Beard gets Spinning Spirit. There we go. Ba, 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 ba. One baby T. Oh, first time chatter. I guess I got to add you. You just jumped in right at the right
Baby
time.
T, first time chatter, long time listener. Probably not true at all.
One baby T. Is that your? Oh, it's Lids. Lidelsky. So you've been added to the
baby T.
wheel. You've been added to the
Nice.
wheel. Which means I gotta add you to my notes too. Shit.
Shit.
Lidelsky.
You sound like God. What's the guy's the name of the character in The Wire that would say that? Oh, shit. Does anybody have a clue?
Nah.
I'm gonna
oh,
give away 3 C cards if you know who says shit in The Wire. I can't remember the actor's name or the
says
character.
Shit.
3 C cards. So whoever knows that actor or
I know who says it.
the character. It's not
Jane-
Jane Fonda. She's not in The Wire. I promise you.
That's a good guess, Sabbath.
Yeah,
Clay Davis.
Clay Davis. That's right. There it is.
Dag.
Okay, 3 C cards for Barsham. All right. Shit. Boom.
All right, Shag got 3 C cards.
Yeah, what's Barsham? What's your stable name?
Shag Farms.
Shag Farms. Okay, see, I don't know. I don't even know who I'm talking to.
All good.
I'm just over here giving away shit.
That's right. All right, we got one more Sire share to give away. This is a Kodiak share. And we're going to do a raffle. Screw the wheel.
Screw the wheel.
Screw the wheel.
We're not going to do that on camera, mind you.
No,
But
that may be
That's
frowned upon.
yeah, this is Mike's horse name Mike's bad act is really coming back to haunt me.
All right, guys, here we go. What's going to happen here is I will type in the raffle,
Do that raffle.
and you'll have to hit exclamation point join. So here we go. There we go. Everybody's in.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
I like that
here
this
we
thing
go.
goes as fast as it does, though. It's like,
I know.
it's a very fast 30 seconds. So we got like
It is.
like speed raffles.
Speed,
So there we go.
speed dating for raffles.
Yeah, getting them comments up too.
Getting them comments.
7 seconds to go.
7 seconds.
Getting your Twitch points when you
7.
post a comment.
Yeah, 7's the number 7. 7
The raffle
seconds
is-
for the raffle to finish.
Oh, Thor won. So Thor gets the Kodiak share.
Thunder!
Yeah, we had some redundant winners this go around.
Another week of redundance, or another stream, anyhow.
I gotta put Thor's name in right because he's one of the people who I fuck up all the time when I go to give credits to. So we had, let's see, these are our winners so far this week, or for the prizes. We have Jono, Roxy Ken, FL Rancho, Dunville Downs, Wrathbeard, Dennis Schaefer, Jono, Bazals, Thunder Thor, Tiger, Dennis Schaefer, Bazals, Gurky, Thunder Thor, and Shag.
That's not too repetitive. It's not as repetitive as I thought it was.
I'm lagging by 23 seconds, so it's really speed around here. You're not lagging that bad. You're not like that's excusism at its finest, BK. I expect better out of you.
Get a better service provider, you cheap piece of shit.
There you go. Sabbath is just going to type in ! Join every 5 seconds.
Of course he is.
So we're making progress, but yeah. So yeah, we don't have anything else to give away at the moment.
Yeah, the beer keg over here with a tin can held up to the side of his computer and a string heading out to the neighbor's fucking internet. Come on,
That's
BK.
right. BK's got that brain lag. Let's see. Yeah, so I have no other gifts, I don't think. Mike, do you have anything you want to give away?
I could give away something real quick, but let me think of a. You know what? Do we have a trivia question? Yeah, Frank, do you have a trivia question? You haven't asked a trivia question.
Here's my trivia question. I'm thinking of a number 1 through 10. No, I'm just kidding.
I was gonna feel like yeah. Here comes Sabbath just writing in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's not a trivia question.
Well, I don't really have a good trivia question, to be honest with you. I'm not a good trivia guy.
You're not fast on your feet.
No, I mean I'm fast on my feet. I just don't know trivia. That's my
You know what? Ask a question about your favorite football team. It's like an older question, and then with
all right, here we go.
Three C cards.
All right. So, favorite football team. For those of you who don't know, my favorite football team is the New England Patriots. I'm a diehard New England fan. I'm from the Northeast, so it's not like I'm bandwagon or anything like that. But
I want to ask a New England Patriot question, but I'm gonna let you.
Go ahead. You can ask.
No, I'm not gonna. I gotta hear yours.
All right. So, let me think. Who did the New England Patriots play in their first ever Super Bowl appearance?
I was actually going to ask you. You know what? 3 C's for that, and then 3 D's. 3 C's for whoever gets the 3 D's for whoever gets the quarterback right.
McDaniels, Rams, Lions, deflated balls, Bears. D Money Schaefer got it again. Damn.
And who was the quarterback? You get 3 D's. Quarterback for New England, not the Bears.
Oh. This is Super Bowl 20 we're talking about, right?
Mike's team. It was not Jim Plunkett / Join.
Who Patriot? This is again Super Bowl 20. Who was the Patriots quarterback? Not Tony Eason.
Nope.
Niet. I gotta get.
That was a solid guess, though.
Tony Eason was a good guess. Not Elon Musk. Oh, D Money Schaefer. He says he deals in sports cards and memorabilia.
Well, why can't you get this? I guess because this guy's card isn't worth anything.
Was this C or D's for
D's for this one? People are like, I'm not even fucking with a D. I'm not even worth Googling for a D.
Not Jimmy G. Think 1985. There Dwayne Crisp got it.
It's funny that you asked that because my question was actually totally related to your question. So yeah, as soon as you said it.
Well, you know what's funny is I was going to ask that exact question, and I was like, "No,
really?
That's too hard." Yeah, and then,
we share a brain. You know what, Dwayne? Since Frank said that was a hard question, I gave you 3. Let me see. Actually, I gave you. Yeah, I may have actually given you 3. Let me see. Yeah, I'm going to give you some extra cards. Not a bunch, but you deserve a few. So there we go.
So there we go.
We got it.
We got Dwayne Crisp got 3 D cards. Dennis Schaefer got 3 C cards. Yeah, so we gave away a lot of shit. We're very generous on Saturdays, apparently.
Yeah, we're not even drunk, so you can't blame us for that.
Just wait till the holiday streams.
It was the lines of cocaine I did before I got on the stream that has me feeling in a good mood.
Exclamation
not
point,
drunk at all.
Exclamation point 8 ball. That is a real command, by the way. It's not. It's not what you think it is, though.
That sounds awful.
It's ask the magic 8 ball.
Oh, okay.
So
cool.
Let's see. Let's see what happens when we do this. Exclamation point 8 ball. What will Mike give away next? I don't even know if this is going to work, but hey, we'll give it a shot.
Yeah, let's see what happens.
I don't.
Down to 31. People are bored with us. They're bored of getting free shit. Spin the wheel. Pole dance.
Pole dance. That's what Mike's giving
No.
away. I guess 8-ball didn't
Nobody-
work.
Yeah, nobody wants to see that.
All right, we'll spin the wheel one more time. This one's going to be a good one. And we haven't.
What are we giving away here?
We haven't done one of these in a while. It'll be you pick them. So you pick 3 sires. You PM me the 3 sires,
Yeah.
and
Okay.
I will buy the 3 sires out of Administrator and breed them for you.
All right. So this is wide open then.
And what I'm going to do is, we'll spin the wheel on this one. This is a wheel spin. I don't want anybody to get excluded.
Make
based
sure
off
that
of
you're
the join.
listed on the wheel spin
Right. Here we go.
right now.
I'm going to take
Don't
attendance
use-
one more time. We got Kim Muggle, Dunville, Thunder Thor, Sabbath, Daniel Jacobson, Baseball, Elfstrom, Amir, Gurky, Dingo, 10 Point, Padre Bry, Wrathbeard, Super Taffy, Smithy, FL Rancho, L. Bailey, Mighty Forgo, Loette, Brundlefly, MTK, Beer Keg, Jono, T. Gurk, Sea Cadet, Shag Farms, Next Bonus, Ledwith, Ivan Yamil, Dwayne Crisp, Roxy Ken, Bizalls, Dennis Schaefer, N.A. Skippy, and Lidelsky. Did I
Okay,
miss
and you have to
anybody?
be here and respond to actually win, just in case, because I know our numbers have gone down a little bit. If you bolted, you don't win. You
Okay.
have to respond that you won.
Yep.
I think that's
fair.
fair.
That's
And
very fair.
Yeah, you have 1 minute to respond, 2 minutes, I guess. And if you don't respond, we're going to spin it again. So,
Yep. So here we go. We're spinning. We are spinning. It doesn't look like I missed anybody. I don't think I missed anybody. All right. So this is for a you pick 'em.
dealer's choice. Don't pick Demons Be Gone. I almost bred my horse with a Demons Be Gone Dame's Dansire, the Juice Demon, but I ended up using.
Oh,
the onion
Dwayne
juice.
Crisp. Dwayne, are you around?
Oh, you around, Dwayne?
You got to post in the chat if you're around. Say
You got
I
2
win or
minutes.
Something
He
crazy.
was here recently, unless he quit. Yes.
Hey, there he is. All right, so Dwayne Crisp gets it. All right, Dwayne, so you can PM me on Slack, or preferably Slack, but you can PM me on Slack or you can PM me on the forum, and I will get you set up. But make sure you send me a Sire, a DS, and a DDS.
Yes. Sounds good.
Equals viewer pick. At least it'll be easier to actually remember these gifts since I won't be drunk, or since I'm not drunk. So when someone's like, "Hey, you told me that you were going to give me XYZ," I'm not like, did I?"
I think I gave away all my gifts. So.
Yep, I'm good as well. So I think we can probably stop it there. But any closing arguments, Spin? Anything that you want?
Arguments?
No, just a reminder, if you want to ride a Breeders' Bowl race for the BTB, come over to the forum and sign up for one. And otherwise, December 16th, 2 races in memory of Itch. Come and join. We'd love to have you. So.
Absolutely. All right.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's it, Mike. You want to say anything before we turn the old stream machine off?
Now, just my obligatory thank for everyone who plays. Thanks for Spin, especially for being here. Thanks for showing up on a Saturday. I know it's not as convenient for some of you guys, and for some of you, it's more convenient. I know even the poor Aussies, we're still screwing with them because they're up like super late, except John, who apparently loves that shit. And outside of that, we'll try to do like a late night stream on a Saturday or maybe Friday night or Saturday night one night, so we can pick up the midday Aussie guys that aren't as hardcore as John.
Yeah, once we get through these next couple of streams, what I think we're gonna do is we're gonna do we're gonna do more of a structured schedule as far as the streams are concerned. We just gotta hammer out the details. So maybe we'll do a poll on the forums to see when's best for everybody, and kind of try to schedule around that.
Yeah,
But,
or maybe like a structured, like maybe like structure and then kind of like off the cuff or an off the but something regularly where you're seeing us always here at a specific time. But we do realize like I'd hate to be like a Wednesday stream and then there's some guy who like only pulls a Wednesday night shift that can't be here. So we'll try to move that around a little bit. But we probably pick one particular day for sure. We'll always be here day and time.
Yep. All right, so we're going to close it out there. Thank you, Spin, for joining us. Much, much appreciated as always. Thank you to everybody who
Thanks
joined.
for having me.
Absolutely, you're welcome anytime. Thank you to anybody or for everybody who joined and participated in chat. I'm going to try and get credits out today. Go ahead,
Thank
Mike.
you for Sabbath to reminding us to spin the wheel.
That's right. Might have to just create a Sabbath command that just says spin the wheel every time someone types in !Sabbath. But thank you all again. And we'll see you in Slack. We'll see you on the forums. We'll see you in email. And
I'll see you in your nightmares.
I'm sorry. Before we get out of here, anybody who's interested in jumping on stream with us on Breeders' Bowl Day, please send me a message so I can coordinate.
Yep.
And we'll work it out. But I imagine that day might be a little chaotic for us. So the more that we can schedule ahead of time, the better.
Absolutely.
All right. And that's it. And I'm pressing the stop button now. So love you guys. See y'all later.
See ya.